All right, welcome in to the Football is King podcast. We have theme music now. Hopefully you heard that. I worked on it for multiple hours today, making sure that it worked. Was it too quiet?
Yeah.
We said earlier it was too loud. We'll work on the volume settings for the future. We didn't earlier. We said it was too loud and we blasted it. I will take a note and I will make it louder next week. But we're gonna try to get some sound in here, and some. I'm looking for a sound editing board. I'm gonna hopefully throw some clips in. But
Beto es un mejor pendejo.
welcome in to episode 11 of the Football is King podcast. We are the four stooges that talk to you about all things football, but also we're going to talk about other sports. And it's this episode's being recorded on election night, so I'm sure there will be some politics things that come in.
The election night special.
I will say I'm pretty bummed.
Red wave, baby.
Pretty
Hey,
bummed.
but sports and politics intersect.
Yeah, Tim Tebow did not win governor of Florida today, so I am sad. As we mentioned on, I don't know, episode 9 or 8. Go check that one out if you haven't done so far.
But Herschel is still in there. Herschel is still in there.
People would probably disagree royally with our political Southeastern Conference political candidates, but the world we're in today, we got Dr. Oz running for political office. We got Herschel Walker. We got, O.J. Simpson's probably not too far from running for political office. It's not too far out.
Hey, I will say this. I was discussing with a coworker today on kind of politics related things. When it comes to football politics, I got me another believer in the college football relegation system today. So, in fact, he's one of the football coaches at the high school that I teach at. And for his senior coaching thesis in college, he wrote a manifesto to set up a relegation system for college football. It was pretty cool. I read his whole thing.
My only problem with that is let's start that next year. Let's not start that this year, because we will find ourselves in the Sun Belt very quickly.
Oh, no. We're gonna have to start that in 2030. It's got to be down the line.
Fine.
But
that's fine,
because it's gonna take some time to set up.
Austin, I imagine you and this coach probably had a good, long, drawn-out conversation about this, didn't you?
We were actually in a meeting, so we were kind of having to do it kind of hush-hush. But I promise, if this makes it to any of my administrators, I was paying attention during the meeting as well.
I'm sure it was really important.
3D learning, I got it. All right.
3D learning.
3D learning, wow.
3D learning. They're changing my TEKS, all my state standards. I was paying attention. Also, mother. I was paying attention, I promise. I can multitask. Let's get back on track when it comes to sports-related things, though. We have an untrue fact of the week. That is how we always start our show off, and this is going to relate to our boy Sam Ehlinger and the Colts.
That was painful.
Did you know that the 4 people on this screen, or if you're listening on Spotify, your 4 hosts here at the Football is King podcast, are all better and more qualified coaching candidates than Jeff Saturday? That's a fact. The man at the beginning of this year tweeted out about the Las Vegas Raiders that they are straight trash. And who are the Colts playing this week?
I can't wait.
The Las Vegas Raiders. I hope they destroy the Colts. This is the only time you will ever see me root for the Raiders. But the man has just been talking mad smack on the internet. He has zero coaching experience of any kind. He was an
he's a high school coach.
High school coach.
High school coach
in Dacula, Georgia, about 30 minutes north of here. High school coach.
Doesn't count.
Dude, that means there's a chance the guy you sat next to in your meeting today could be a professional football coach in the next 15 years.
Tomorrow.
You know what?
You think Jeff Saturday went to sleep 2 nights ago thinking he was going to be the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts? No.
I will tell you this.
How do you think that happened?
The coach next to me.
Did you think Ted
he's
Lasso?
Got some Cliff Kingsbury vibes to him, so
I gotta say, Jim Irsay has gone full tank mode.
Oh, I love
it. Is it Austin Franklin?
No. The guy who does the barbecue?
No, the coach you're
James Franklin? About. Oh, no. He was not there when you were there. Yeah,
No,
He was probably in high school, Shane.
I love the
He
fact that
probably
the
was in
Colts,
high school when you were in high school.
the Colts straight up
I
are
went
like,
to
we
high
are
school
in
with
full on tank mode. We have fired everyone. When does Chris
Did you
Ballard
see their
get
play
fired?
caller?
Tomorrow?
Did you see the play caller as their assistant QB coach?
Nice.
Because
Poor
nobody on
Sam
their staff has ever
Ellinger.
called plays.
Sam Ellinger doesn't stand a chance now. His NFL career. I mean, he's hoping to
Oh.
be Colt McCoy 2.0 and just be a backup for 30 years and
Ha-
make a bunch of money, which is the ideal scenario in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How bad is Matt Ryan hurt? When does he get
Matt
cleared?
Ryan's not hurt. He's benched.
They benched him.
They
They
benched him
benched
for
Oh,
Sam.
no, but I thought they said that he was hurt also. So is he cleared to
No,
play? Because if I'm
Jeff
Jeff
Saturday said that
I put
Ellinger is QB1.
no.
Yeah.
If
Jeff
I'm Jeff
Saturday
Saturday,
said it.
he's a. If I'm but okay, with Jeff Saturday's a dummy. If I'm Jeff Saturday, you put a veteran in there. You
No,
this
no,
is
no,
your
no.
tryout.
You're trying to lose football games.
So is this Jim Irsay saying I want to tank without tanking? Like I don't
Colts
want to.
have the Colts won 2 games or 3 games? 3.
I think
They're 3-5-1. So I mean, they've only won 3 games. Their problem is that the Texans are really freaking bad. But the Colts are going to have a top 5 draft pick.
That's what they're going for. I feel like
I said,
they have like
a top 5 draft pick is really good. You're going to get probably a very decent player.
The Raiders.
They literally have a play call. They have no one that's called plays. They had plenty of coaches on their staff that could have been elevated, and they chose just not to. Like they're in full tank mode.
I just love how the whole organization was just like, we're going to fire everyone but Frank Reich. Oh, wait. He also sucks. Okay, fire Frank Reich. So Chris Ballard's going to get fired next week. I just want to see each week, who do the Colts fire? / who do they have left? Like, is Pat McAfee going to be the new special teams coordinator a week from today? They're just going to hire, Peyton Manning's going to be the QB coach. They're just going to hire all of these, amazing former players that have no experience. Marvin Harrison will be the wide receiver coach.
He already is. Marvin Harrison already is.
Oh, yeah, he is.
They'll bring Reggie Wayne on as well if Reggie Wayne's
not
a part of it.
I've been watching ESPN. No, it's Marvin Harrison. It's Marvin Harrison.
I'm just saying, okay. I don't have time to watch ESPN. Also, the worldwide leader barely ever talks about sports. So
no, but that's what I was going to mention. They were pissed off because Marvin Harrison didn't get the job, and it's literally like they're pissed off because a white guy got the job with no experience, and it's like, so you want Marvin Harrison to get the job, get his tryout to be the head coach, and go 0-9.
I was gonna say Marvin Harrison's probably like, do not let me be the head coach.
That's right.
Also,
they've won 3 games. They obviously don't trust anyone in that coaching staff.
If I'm a general manager or whatever, or an owner that's hiring a coach, I would rather my coach be a player who played a position that required the most brains. So offensive line and quarterback are pretty much really good choices. What?
Oh, the world doesn't like when you say quarterbacks require more brains, because that has
than a wide receiver for sure. Their job requires. No, I mean, I'm not saying that Marvin Harrison is stupid. I'm just saying that Marvin Harrison's job on the football field required less memorization and analysis of scheme. Now, did Marvin Harrison have to analyze the cornerbacks and safeties, like trends of how they played coverage? Yes. I'm not saying that those guys don't study film and do those things. Only Kyler Murray doesn't study film.
Also the new Call of Duty did come out 2 weekends ago. So
I mean, and the Cardinals have sucked both of those weeks, I think.
That'll be an open job here shortly.
Dude, Kyler's bad. He's bad, but whatever. All right, so that's enough about that. But the Colts are in full tank mode. I just think it's hilarious that Jeff Saturday got the job. Do you think he even knew it was coming? Do you think he just got the phone call?
He literally said in the press conference that when he got the call, he was like, he literally said what makes me qualified for this? Which is true.
The people of Indianapolis know your name. That's what it is.
But also he was working as a consultant for the team. It's not like he came completely out of nowhere. He was working for the team.
I will say, I do like Jeff Saturday.
I do too. People were hating on him today.
I mean, he's not a head coach because he has no experience in doing all those things.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But I do like Jeff Saturday. Maybe
that's the whole idea. No experience.
That's what Ursay said. He said he doesn't have any experience, so he doesn't have the fears of an NFL coach that makes him rely on analytics so heavily.
Dude,
That's literally what Ursay
I
said.
mean, if I'm an
I bet he
owner,
kicks a lot of field goals.
if I'm an owner, if I'm in the interview process and a guy says analytics once, I'm just like, all right, you can leave. You
Well,
can leave.
apparently Ursay
Yeah.
has the same opinion. Ursay has
Just-
the same opinion.
You can leave because analytics is dumb. Whatever. All right. That's enough of that. We'll move it on. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to have some fun today. There's going to be some BS conjecture in here, which is always fun. And we got some serious things to talk about. We're going to play a lot of hypothetical scenario games kind of things. It's going to be a good time. A recap from last week. We all suck at betting except for Shane. Shane, for the first time ever, wins the betting for the week, which is great. I think I've
That was an ugly
decided
week.
I wanted to get y'all's attention, I want to get y'all's opinion on this live on the podcast. We never decided what a prize should be for our winner of the gambling
Achievable.
for the Shiva
Should
Bowl.
really-
Sure.
Achievable?
And I'll let you guys behind the curtain to all of our listeners here. Typically, we go to one NFL game a year. We're trying to go to all of the stadiums
Ooh, you get a
and
pick.
see all the things. So the winner can pick what stadium we want to go to. Maybe not the specific.
I'm down for
game.
that.
Maybe not the specific game because there's going to be scheduling
Scheduling.
issues that we've talked about. But like, hey,
Stadium works.
like for example, Jonathan really wants to go see the Buffalo Bills next
Oh,
year.
dude.
I do too.
Which I'm down
changing my
for.
bets for this week to like
too
for
late.
sure things because
too
I
late.
want
But
to go to Buffalo.
Because you
so
weren't
fucking
because
bad.
you before
No,
you weren't picking
no.
for sure thing.
so
No,
I think
dude, I picked a wild game.
What about also a bottle of whiskey?
no, we don't need to throw. I mean, we don't need him to. What
We all
they're
have
gonna?
plenty of
Everyone's got to
we all
chip
have
in for a
plenty
bottle of
bottles
whiskey.
whiskeys.
I'm sure
Yeah,
we will
like-
bring a bottle of whiskey on the trip, and then we will go from there.
There we go.
I was just hoping I was gonna
Yeah.
make a mean comeback and get a bottle of some Blanton's or something.
Shane, you
Oh,
got
Shane.
you got to.
He wants
one.
Blanton's.
Hey, if you can if you can find a
whiskey.
bottle of Blanton's. Speaking of which, Blanton's, if you would love to sponsor this podcast and give us all Blanton's for
We
free,
would all.
we would love you. We will talk about Blanton's for every segment.
I've never
that
seen a
stuff-
bottle of Blanton's in a store. I've never seen one.
Nope, it's so hard to get. I know a guy who knows a guy. I'm gonna see if he can get me the hookup, but that's fine.
I saw a
All
bottle
right.
of Buffalo Trace the other day, and I was like, "Oh heck yeah!" I've never
What?
seen Blanton's.
Buffalo Trace is easy to get. What are you talking about?
I don't see it anywhere.
I don't know what the whiskey situation is in Georgia, but in Texas,
It's
you
not
can
good.
get
I can tell
you
you.
can get
that.
Buffalo Trace pretty easy.
It's about to change though, because Herschel's bringing it back.
Sure, baby. Bring back the
The-
whiskey. Bring back the bourbon.
The bottle
right.
of Blanton's I
Austin,
found in.
you laid that one up to me.
Yeah, you did.
That's fine.
The
I don't
bottle
care.
of Blanton's I found in Big Spring when me and my dad were talking about it. Sorry, my Fox News update just hit me. Was at a little local liquor store. So my dad was like, if you can find some Blanton's, call me. So I called him a 750 milliliter bottle of Blanton's. They were like, oh, it's going to be $250. I called my dad and I was like, you want me to buy this bottle of Blanton's? He's like, heck no, I'm not paying $250 for
It
that.
ain't cheap, that's for sure.
But it ain't $250.
Yeah, one of my coworkers bought it for me for my birthday because she's the best, and I was like, dude, you spent way too much money on me, but I appreciate it. All right, let's talk about all of our sports that are not football related first. Here we go. We'll put 30 seconds on the clock about baseball. The Astros won the World Series. Do we have anything else to say about the Astros winning the World Series?
I'm
Congratulations.
happy for Dusty Baker. I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy. For
Buzzers.
Dusty's a champ. He kept the toothpick in during all the celebrations, which is super
and his
impressive.
gloves on. He had
And
his
the
gloves on. He
gloves.
was ready to bat. He was ready to
Oh.
bat.
A rookie won MVP, which is impressive. And I don't care about baseball
Dusty
anymore than that.
retires. Dusty should retire, right? He should just retire and go off in the sunset.
Yeah. But
I
he's not
guess
going to. He's
we've
been in
seen-
MLB for 50 years.
We've seen this too many times. Just retire, take your World Series.
The Astros are a wagon. The Astros are a wagon.
They are, but just take your World Series and run.
I will say, I guess, can we officially vindicate the Astros from cheating now that they've won?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, They're
They
they're
should all
good.
rip their shirts off. They should all rip their shirts off.
That would have
Dude.
been hilarious.
They're so damn. Everyone
No,
cheats.
Altuve gave him one of these at the end of the game after they won the World Series. He gave him one of these. Yeah.
Hmm.
Also,
get
shout out
fined
to
for that.
Mattress Mac. That man
Mattress
is
Mac's
living.
great.
Oh, you
Kate
think
Upton
he's
giving
living? Bro, someone got a
Upton giving
$2 billion Powerball ticket today. Someone
Oh,
literally just
did someone
woke up
win?
and became a
He won in
billionaire.
California, yeah.
Oh man.
Why'd it have to be in Cali, man?
Los Angeles County to make it even worse.
He definitely did.
They're probably already millionaires.
This person definitely didn't win 2 billion, but for all of our lottery people out there, if you are the Powerball listener,
If you want to
Sponsor us.
sponsor our
you want to
podcast,
take the lump sum and not the 2 billion over 30 years or whatever it is.
Yeah, you take the money.
Take the
You
lump
take the
sum
money.
and also $1 million sponsorship to the podcast would be great. I mean, we'll split it.
$1 million,
4
that's
ways.
easy. Yeah,
Million, yeah.
that's easy.
That's
split it
nothing.
4 ways.
That's nothing.
You won't even blink. You won't even realize it's gone.
All right. Basketball.
I hope they fall off a bridge.
Spurs, the
Interest
Spurs are
rate
back.
on $1 billion
Spurs-
would be insane.
Spurs are
in
great.
Account.
The
and-
Spurs are back to sucking.
No,
They
the
lost four
Spurs.
straight.
The Spurs have lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Four, I thought.
Way to go, Spurs. Way to get back on the
It's okay. It was a
train.
fun beginning of the season. A&M basketball is going to the Final Four. I mean,
They looked
what else do
good.
you want to know?
Kentucky
They look good.
basketball.
They can score. They can
Good.
score.
They were looking good from behind 3-point arc. It looked
I
good.
will say Kentucky has the best 3-point shooter in America on their team.
Dude.
TJ Frederick or CJ, whatever.
Yeah.
Best 3-point shooter in America. It's not even close.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
when the podcast listeners get to see the bias of Jonathan Heisner.
Okay.
Oh, he's a Kentucky
All right,
basketball
chill.
fan.
Chill.
Face.
I have been a Kentucky. This is the privilege of not
Since
going
his father
to college.
played against Adolph Rupp.
This is no. This is the privilege of not going to college. I can choose colleges like a professional team. I don't
No,
have to. I
hey.
never went to A&M. I'm an A&M
Jonathan
football fan.
100% has always supported Kentucky
He
basketball.
has. He has.
I've had
I'll give
Kentucky
it to
shit
him.
my
He's had his
entire
good
life.
years and his bad years, and that's fine.
I
Kentucky,
cried when we
Kentucky
got
looked good as
eliminated
well.
in 2013.
It'll be fine.
It'll be
whatever.
fine when A&M
I mean,
wins the SEC this year.
It doesn't matter.
No
When
problem.
A&M wins the SEC, they go undefeated. They make it to the final.
Don't
four.
hop on the
Fine.
bandwagon, fool.
No, that's fine.
I
right.
watch all the A&M. I watch all.
We're setting ourselves up for.
You didn't watch last night because you were busy watching the Kentucky game.
I was
so.
watching the Kentucky game because it takes precedent over the A&M game.
I didn't
Who's A&M's basketball coach?
Buzz. Fucker.
I will say I didn't watch
I mean-
any basketball last night because
Oh, I watched basketball
every
all night.
every single team was playing nobody, and I wasn't going to learn anything. from that,
Agreed,
so.
but there was some great. Despite that, there was some great games.
Actually, that's not true. I watched the first half of the A&M game, and then I turned it off.
Speaking of last night watching sports, I hate to do this. I am officially on the Jonathan Heisner team. Lamar Jackson is trash at football.
Garbage.
That's hilarious
Although,
because
I do
literally
have one
everyone
thing
from
to
last
say.
night on the internet was like, Lamar is amazing.
No,
I
he
would
did not
not
look
pay him.
good.
I would
I
not
have one
pay
thing
him.
to say. The play
I
where
watched
he
The entire
fumbles the
game,
ball.
not good.
The play where he fumbles the ball, picks it up while running, launches it. Just dynamite throw.
Oh.
I even sat there as a Lamar hater. I can't stand this fucking dude. As a Lamar hater, I sat there and was like, that was fucking impressive.
Lamar is on the
I'm
docket
saying.
for us to talk about later. We'll talk about Lamar a little bit later.
All right.
Let's
Okay.
get into the real reason why everyone tunes into the Football is King podcast.
Politics.
We are 12 days away from the start of the World Cup. So welcome to the soccer minute, the soccer corner, because I just need to get this on the internet with all
Let's
of
get
my
on the internet. What's your
Gotta be
prediction?
out
Give us your
there.
prediction because mine's gonna
First
be
of
better.
all, I asked all of the gentlemen here to tell me who they think is going to win the World Cup. So
And
if
Shane did a
everyone-
whole bracket.
Shane did a whole bracket that looked very impressive. I was way impressed. Also, ESPN, if you're listening to this, I know that you love all the nice things we say about you. Why are you not doing a bracket for the World Cup like you do for March Madness? Get on it. It would be a brilliant idea.
ESPN hates soccer.
It's the
That's fine.
soccer.
Not
It's the
true.
foot. It's the Lombardi of soccer. Like you got to have the bracket
The
challenge.
soccer Lombardi.
The
The
soccer
U.S. is going to win
Lombardi.
the soccer Lombardi.
So yeah, Shane, you picked the USA to win the World Cup, which is over Poland, which is a bold choice. You
I,
went
I
full
had
homer.
I had the.
Lewandowski.
It worked out perfect to where the United States of America, with the red wave coming, was on the opposite side of the field as Poland, the homeland.
With the red wave coming
With a
coming
different
as
shade
well.
of red coming.
Hey, and I got Poland and the United States in the World Cup final in a penalty kick situation. I got the
Ooh.
US winning by 1.
Man, let's talk about the fact that the MLS Cup came down to penalties, and they were the worst penalty shootout of all time. It was real
Wasn't it
bad.
3-0?
It was 3-0, and the 0, they were all very ugly. It was bad.
And Philadelphia lost 2 major championships in one day.
Blake, who did you think was going to win the World Cup?
So, unbiased. Well, my biased preview is Christian Pulisic scores 6 goals in what? We got to win 9 games,
Less than that. I think it's
8
7
games, whatever it is,
it's
7
7.
games, and the U.S. wins the World Cup, brings home the soccer Lombardi. But my unbiased review is that the GOAT, Lionel Messi, brings home the World Cup for his country.
That's interesting.
Garbage.
FIFA 23 simulator. The FIFA simulator has been correct on the last 3 World Cup winners. Predicted today that Argentina will win the World Cup. So
Lionel Messi takes over. The GOAT.
Has it
How old is-
I'm not
how
a
old
huge
is
soccer
Messi?
guy, but like
34, 35.
he's
something like
like completely disappeared in all World Cups, right? Like he's not good internationally.
That is
That's
not true. That's not true at all.
Oh,
That's
I'm just repeating what ESPN
Extremely
says, dude.
untrue. No, ESPN.
Don't listen to Taylor Twellman ever again.
Oh no!
I
If you're
don't-
not
dude,
listening to,
I watch the World Cup, and that is the amount of soccer I watch in my life.
We went to
the
a Gold Cup game.
year.
Oh.
We did go to
yeah,
that.
last summer, Messi was
Republicans
the
are
only
looking at it.
player in all of the international competitions that led in goals, assists, and won player of the tournament. In
Lionel Messi, the GOAT.
the World Cup, where they made it to the World
Ronaldo.
Cup final and they lost to Germany 1-0.
Ronaldo.
He literally
Ronaldo
carried the
just shoots
team on his
penalties all
back
day.
for the entire tournament. And then the one time he played a player through in the World Cup final, who was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he just missed horrifically, and it was terrible. Messi's really good, and he puts Argentina on his back, but usually the Argentina team is not great. This year, the
Ronaldo
Argentina
sucks.
team is no. Ronaldo is also very good, just very different kind of good.
Ronaldo's a freak.
Who do you
of a
got,
human
Austin?
being.
Who's the GOAT, Austin?
Who's the GOAT? Oh, Messi's the GOAT. It's not even close.
What
It's-
about
it's-
Ronaldinho?
No, not even no.
He was.
Austin's favorite player of all time is Chicharito.
Oh, I hate him so much. Mainly just because he
I wanna
destroyed
know-
the United States for forever.
He was good for like a year, I feel like.
No, he
Hey.
was good for a long time.
I used to
Before-
piss Austin off in high school yelling Chicharito.
Austin, before you give us your prediction, I need to know this seriously because I did spend a good hour and a half of my lunch break. I read 4 or 5 different blogs, and that's right. Now, my predictions were very biased, but up until the very biased part, are they okay picks?
I barely looked at your thing, to be honest. I'm not
Oh
gonna lie.
man,
But
that's why I did the whole bracket. I was like, Austin, I need his honest opinion on.
I
my
was
prediction.
in a meeting. Hold on, I can look at it right now. I got it right here.
Yeah, he read one of my blogs and made some selections. So
No,
I mean-
I was deep into the soccer.
Your
blogs
pick
today.
your pick is not great because I really fear for the United States getting out of their group. To be honest,
No, I
Uh,
know.
What do they got? They got England.
they got
Wales
England,
and Iraq.
Wales, and Iran.
Iran.
And you we cannot beat Iran because they will bomb us if we beat them.
Yeah,
So
they'll
there's
just
a
kill
loss.
us all.
No,
They'll just
that's
kill
not
our
going to
team.
happen. But Iran is going to be the reason why we don't qualify from our group because they're really actually pretty good. They're really
Yeah,
hard.
because you
They're
got to
hard
worry
to
about
beat.
getting bombed.
But I think that the winner, it's
Let's
really
see
hard
this.
to go against France. It's really hard to go
Ooh.
against
They're
France.
good.
They're good. And
They got my
Mbappe,
boy. What's his name? Mbappe.
Mbappe's
Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe's really hard to defend against, but I don't see them because both of their starting midfielders typically are injured. So I actually don't see France going. I think that La Roja, Spain, is going to come out of nowhere. No one's predicting Spain to win the World Cup, and I think that they're going to do it. I think they got the
No.
talent.
Does
Boo.
France have that? Does France have that player back that was like posting nudes of his teammates'
No,
wives or something like that?
Well, Benzema is back, but they don't have Mateo Valbuenas, who was blackmailing his person. He's out. All right. All right.
I
That's
got
not even
Germany.
why I wanted to talk about soccer today. The reason why we need to talk about soccer today is because the Champions League draw just happened on Monday. And so did the
Where's my
Europa
guys
League.
from Borussia Dortmund?
Borussia Dortmund's playing Chelsea, actually.
Let's go.
I was 4
What about
days.
Tottenham?
So Sarah and I will actually be in England 4 days after Borussia Dortmund and Chelsea play
Change your
in
flight.
London. So I'm
Change
pretty
your
bummed.
flight.
No, it's not
Change
gonna
your
happen.
flight.
I'm not changing my flight. So that was kind of a bummer. But
Tottenham.
we talked to Spurs suck. Also Tottenham. There's no H.
Tottenham.
But
It's the Texas version.
we talk about like we complain about like the college football playoff committee and like all of the rigging of that. If you watch anything that FIFA or UEFA does, we talked about on our little group text. Sepp Blatter came out and said today, like giving Qatar the World Cup in 2022.
Wasn't he in
was a
charge of
mistake.
that?
He was in charge, and he took a humongous bribe, and that's why Qatar won the World Cup instead of the United States. And if you watch the Champions League draw and the Europa League draw, it was so rigged. Like the way that they do it is they just put these soccer balls that have the team's names into them into this like clear see-through bowl, and then they just pick them out at random, and like they pick the matchups that make the most money for them every time, and it cracks
So
me
it
up.
sounds like the NBA draft lottery. That sounds fair.
I mean, it's way more fair than the NBA draft lottery. The NBA draft lottery is just they put a bunch of ping pong balls into a thing, and then the odds.
Yeah, but it's totally rigged though, because it's like the number 1, 2, and 3 team have like 80% chances.
Yeah, but that makes sense because of that's the whole point, is to give them the chance. Like this is like they'll put like 8 balls into like a bowl, and then it's not that hard to keep your eye on the one that you're supposed to pick when there's only 8 of them, and then they just grab it and go.
Is that how they pick the groups?
That's how they do it. It's terrible. It's so bad. Also, in the past, they've like used different temperatures. So whichever one they're supposed to pick, they'll heat that ball up beforehand and put it in there. So the guy just puts his hands on top and feels which one is hot and then picks it up.
Does anyone expect anything different from FIFA though? I mean, they are
UEFA and FIFA are so corrupt, and I'm glad that American sports are less corrupt, but still kind of corrupt.
But
All
Roger
right.
Goodell gives them a good run for their money.
There we go. Those are all the sports that are not football related. The rest of the podcast will be football related, I promise. But before we get into football,
Warnock's back on top. Warnock's barely winning.
There you go. There's your
What's he up
political update for the day.
It's less than a point.
Oh, is it? That's pretty good from where he was at down 3 a couple minutes ago.
We need to hear from our sponsor this week. And our sponsor is former Arizona Cardinals head coach, Dennis Green. Dennis Green wants everyone to know
Kingsbury.
They are who we thought they were. That's the theme for this week's episode. We'll talk about college football with teams that, like Georgia, they are exactly who we thought they were.
Thought they were. Yep.
Clemson is exactly who we thought they
are.
were.
Frauds.
Same thing with teams in the NFL. We got some teams get exposed this week, and we got some teams that, they're good, just like we predicted. So that's the theme for this week. Same with the Texas A&M Aggies. They're exactly who we thought they were.
Even with half the team out with flu.
I have half the team out with flu.
I have nothing to say.
I figured the only thing I want to talk about this was how terrible the commentators were. They were bad. They were just
Robert Griffin and Mark. Is it
Dude.
Mark Davis? What's his damn name?
It's so bad. I just couldn't. I've seen all these things like on Twitter and things like about how amazing RG3 is, and this is the first game that I've really
He is
paid
not
attention
good.
to.
No.
Oh my gosh, it was so terrible the whole time.
I will have you know
Oh,
that
God.
it wasn't as bad as the Penn State commentary.
I didn't watch that game, but
Didn't
I'm sure
watch
that
Penn
was
State
also
game.
bad.
So I had 4 TVs going throughout the house, backyard, garage, all of it.
Oh yeah.
And as I'm walking around because we had a party this weekend that none of y'all
Oh,
spoke up to.
he's got friends. He's got friends.
Yeah, I mean the three that are sitting here on this with me didn't show up, so whatever.
I didn't get an invite.
Sarah and I
Yes,
were
you
sick.
did.
Oklahoma's pretty far away.
Also, I wouldn't have been there even if I wasn't sick, but Sarah and I were sick.
But either way, I walked out. Walker just took the lead by 0.1.
Let's go. This affects my daily life.
I walked out to the garage, and the Penn State game's on that TV because I have to have them on different channels and different apps and whatnot. And I sat there and I was getting a beer and I was messing around with something on the tool bench, and these guys are arguing while this game is happening. They're arguing about what candy's the best, and one guy is informing the other guy
I did
that
hear
he's
that.
not fat, so he doesn't have an opinion.
I
Like,
did hear
what
that.
the fuck?
Yeah, that's not great.
Like,
But
just
Mark Jones and
talk about the
RG3.
game, man.
Mark Jones, the guy that was with RG3, literally at one point last year. This is what we're about to get into woke ESPN segment here. He literally said last year, like he gets a police escort wherever he goes. Every time he gets a police escort, and he said every time he's in contact with the police, he feels like his life is in danger.
Oh my god.
RG3 was just driving me crazy with all they kept showing him talking to the Corps of Cadets on the horseback, and they just kept talking about.
I have a complaint about ESPN now too. Whenever they show A&M's like fans, it's always the freaking Corps.
Yeah,
That is the worst freaking representation of Texas A&M that could possibly exist.
yeah.
They showed them on the sidelines.
Not the worst, but it's not great.
They showed them on the sidelines, and all of them were like, and I was literally like, that. There might have been a little bit of autism going on there. There might have been a little bit of autism.
It does drive me crazy.
Support the troops.
No, I don't. Not the Corps, because the Corps is a special group of folks.
It drives me crazy that they don't show like Kyle Field has one of the most unique student sections in college football. It's literally half the stadium.
Like, and instead, it's all the Corps going.
There's nothing else to do in College Station on a Saturday than to go to the game. So you get like 48,000 students out of the 70,000 are there. Like the whole stadium there's 3 decks of students, and they get prime seating on the 50-yard line and all like
and the Corps is 2% of it, and they get 98% of the airtime.
Yeah,
and it's the most embarrassing thing for Texas A&M.
That's a fact that that ESPN doesn't know anything about A&M, because we have a saying about people that are only 2%. And so they don't
and
show
that's the Corps.
Whole, no, those are not the Corps of Cadets is not the 2%. The 2% are the 2% that aren't at the game.
But the Corps only represents like 2% of the student body.
No, I know.
And they get 99% of the airtime on TV. And it's like, these are the most embarrassing group of people that we have at this school. And we're showing it on primetime television.
It's definitely because they're cadets, and it's the whole support of the military type.
You need to show those freshmen. Show the freshmen on the third deck. The freshmen on the third deck are usually having a great time.
I was telling you, that's what it is.
Hey, well, I went to my wife's cousin plays football at a certain small school, and they still do the ROTC does the push-ups for every touchdown. And last year when we went to a game, I looked at my wife and I said, well, if you see these cats that are doing push-ups, this is why if we go to World War III, I have to enlist in the military, because if they're the ones protecting my freedom, we are shit fired. Because
that's Corps Cadets.
They run 10 feet. I'm not the most in shape son of a bitch in the world, but they run 10 feet, and you better get a couple oxygen tanks out, because they are screwed.
They at one point they showed some of the Corps on the field at the game, and I was literally like, these folks that are just watching the game, and it happens to be that Texas A&M in Florida was like the 6th most watched game of this week. For some odd reason, I have no clue why, with a bunch of degenerates out there. But I was like, when these people saw this group of folks, they were like, this school is like, we're already a Colt. We don't need to help that fact.
ESPN definitely doesn't help with that. They can, give us a little bit Also, like, yeah,
Show some normal people on the screen.
everything that's also done about the university is never about just the normal student. Like, right, everything
No.
RG3 was doing
It's
was
always
based off
about
the core. They
Yeah.
showed all of like the players walking in and then the core walking in, which is a big thing. Like the Corps of Cadets is still there are a lot of traditions.
Agreed.
The Corps of Cadets, it's a big part of which is awesome, but like
It's
they
still
don't ever
so small.
they don't
compared to
show
the
the
rest of it.
students tailgating right outside the stadium. Like A&M has an awesome tailgating scene outside and all around the stadium. It's great.
And it's even
Is it-
better with that whole park. It's even better.
Correct. It's not up to Tuscaloosa standards, but it's still really good.
Actually, Tuscaloosa tailgating sucks.
It was
that-
fine.
what
What do you
that-
mean?
what
You just
they
go to the
don't-
Tridelt house and have a great time.
Well,
to
I
me,
sorority house of the
Auburn.
nation.
To me, Auburn
Whatever.
has the best tailgate.
It's
Auburn's
not.
pretty
It's
sweet.
not up to the
Auburn's
other
sick.
schools in the SEC where you know you
No,
got
but
these
every other-
beautiful
Blake and I
campuses
were-
that have-
Blake
But with
and I
that
were,
with that new when I was there for the Miami game, that new Aggie Park, it actually is like that's better
No.
than the Grove to me.
Yeah, it's still
well,
very nice.
dude. That's what I was gonna say. Blake and I thought the Grove were
Dude,
just
the Grove is just nasty.
overrated.
Yeah,
Completely.
both times I've been to Ole Miss, I was like the Grove is like it's okay. It's just a bunch of tens.
Yeah,
Like it's not that cool.
but
And they're playing in a stadium made out of 4 different stadiums the size of a Allen High
High
School.
school, yeah,
yeah,
might be smaller than Island High School.
Ole Miss is not that nice of a place. Just not. All the bars are closed by the time the game's over. That sucks.
Jonathan just wanted some food. We couldn't even get some food.
Blake and I just wanted some food, and instead we had to drink all the way home. Like that sucks.
And go to McDonald's. We went to McDonald's.
Yeah, we did. We went to McDonald's in Olive Branch, Mississippi.
Oh,
All right.
gosh.
hey,
Hey, wait, time out.
Go for
While
it.
we're on the topic of commentators, and this is guys not I am a noted Adam Schefter hater. I hate that
oh
guy.
gosh,
Him before Monday Night
Schefty.
Football with his shirt off.
That
Oh,
was bad.
Kirk
I-
Cousins.
that was
wanted
so bad.
I wanted to get a goddamn bazooka and end his life. Get him
I
out of
agree.
here.
100% agree with Shane. That was terrible to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, whoever thought that was a good idea should be fired from their job first off.
Like, what an idiot.
Yeah, I had to bring that up because as I was watching that, first off, my first thought was I want to rip my eyeballs out, and then my second thought is it just made me hate Adam Schefter even more. Like I
Well,
hate him already, and it
so-
just validated that.
Here's my thing. Like, I understand it's your job, but like, do you never like have your own self-respect to say, I'm not fucking doing that?
No, that man.
He doesn't.
That man
that's
doesn't have
so-
self-respect. We know
Like,
that.
could you imagine? Like, if ESPN, if I worked for ESPN and they were like, we're gonna make you get shirtless and do this stupid dance, and I'm a fat middle-aged man, I'm saying, fuck you. You get up there and get shirtless and do a stupid dance.
You're
Like, I'm
talking
not
to a
doing
man. You're talking to a man that tore his ACL during doing the gritty pregame. So you're
Yeah.
not talking to a man with much self-respect.
Oh my god, dude! Hey,
It was the
what an
turf.
idiot. What
It
the
was the
fuck?
turf.
It was the turf. It was the
It was
turf.
the turf.
I hate that guy. I hate him so much.
I don't
And-
even
and
hate
last
it.
night-
I think it's
Last
fine.
night,
It's just-
last
so
night
stupid.
validated my supreme hate for him. I
didn't even watch it. I was watching college basketball all night. I didn't even watch it.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
didn't
my
miss
only
nothing.
issue is the fact that he didn't say, "I'm not fucking doing this." Like
Yeah.
that's so stupid.
Ravens were always going to win that game last night. So I was just like,
There's about 3 teams I'm tired of watching. The Saints, my gosh, can we get them off the TV? The Ravens, my gosh, get them off the TV. And the Broncos. If I see them on TV one more time, I'm going to quit watching the NFL.
Oh, hey, the Saints.
They're terrible. Andy Dalton is terrible.
Okay, here's my other. Well, never
He's
mind.
average.
We're gonna
Thank
get.
God
We're
the
gonna,
Raiders
we're gonna
don't
get
get
to Lamar
television
later.
time. We're fucking terrible.
I've got a hot take on Lamar.
we'll get to Lamar later. All right.
We'll get there.
We're gonna. This will not affect you listeners, but we're gonna do a quick pause break, little drink refill break, and then we will come back after this break. We're gonna talk about our new chain. I swear, I will make us start over.
Gotta be.
we will talk about the new college football rankings that just came out. All righty, so here we go. We are now going to discuss the
You can't
Why are
focus.
you
new
laughing?
college football
Why are you
You
rankings
laughing?
can't focus.
we got going on over here. It's to nobody's surprise. Georgia's 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4. All of the undefeated. All of those are still undefeated. No, yeah, all of those are
Yes,
undefeated.
all undefeated.
And then Tennessee is 5. They were 1 last week, but they lost to Georgia in embarrassing fashion. It was not close for the whole game. And then Oregon is 6, which their only loss is also to Georgia.
Georgia.
So
But
5 and 6.
that was by 57
Wasn't it
or
38 to
something
3?
like that.
38 to 3.
No, it was
I
like
think
it was like 60-3.
I thought it was 38 to 3. Maybe
What
it's
was the
38 to
score?
3 at halftime or something. I don't know.
I'm
It
pretty
was
sure it
not
was like
close.
50. It was like 57-3 or some baloney.
Whatever. That's not surprising.
49-3.
The only thing that surprised me, the college football
Herschel's
playoff.
winning, boys.
All right, that surprised me as well. But the college football playoff committee today, in like the selection show, did 7 teams instead of 6.
Who was number
Which
7?
I don't know. I only write down the top 6 because they're the ones that matter.
Was it Alabama?
No, it was not Alabama.
No,
Who's
they've
the team?
dropped.
Who's the team that we're missing? One lost team. LSU. It was LSU.
Oh, okay, LSU.
So,
But
I
LSU
was-
still has a legit chance, though. LSU
no,
still has a
I
legit chance.
agree. They've always only done the top 6. So when they showed 7, I thought it was going to be Alabama, and I was like, really, we're throwing in a 7 just so Alabama's still on the show. But it was just because LSU, I guess, beat Alabama. So,
LSU though they lost twice. So do they have a chance if they beat Georgia
They
in the SEC
shouldn't.
championship?
they shouldn't really.
That probably lets Oregon in if
I
LSU
really
beats
don't want to.
Georgia.
They could ruin. They could ruin the college football.
No, best
I
case
don't
scenario. Best case scenario. Tennessee has to win out.
No,
Tennessee's
but,
because-
their schedule is trash. Their schedule
but
The
if
is
college
LSU
football-
magically beats Georgia,
Yeah, that's not. Gonna
I
happen.
don't
it
see
really
LSU getting
fucks
in.
up things.
I
The
But
don't
if-
see LSU getting in.
This is not
No.
going to happen. If A&M somehow pulls off an upset against LSU, Alabama goes to the playoff or
No.
goes to the SEC
No.
championship.
No, there's
Goes
too
to the
many
No.
SEC
teams to jump.
championship.
Ole Miss.
no, because LSU has the
Nope.
tiebreaker over Alabama.
LSU. No,
Hey,
because
Alabama's
LSU's
only
no
lost
LSU
once.
lost to Florida State. Alabama's lost 2 SEC games. LSU's only lost 1, so the LSU has to lose twice.
Yeah, it's all about the SEC losses.
So I don't think it's really that big a deal. I really would prefer if Tennessee makes it in over TCU.
Tennessee's
only thing-
in.
I mean, not if
'cause
TCU
Ohio
runs
State,
the table.
Michigan. Ohio
Hi.
State, Michigan are going to eliminate each other.
No, they're not. If Ohio State beats Michigan and it's close, then they'll just switch places
But why would
whatever.
Tennessee not be in instead?
because
What?
Ohio
Michigan's
if
played
it,
nobody.
It depends on if it's a close game.
I don't
I
know.
don't.
I think
I don't
Tennessee's
think
in
that Tennessee
regardless.
is guaranteed to be in, but we'll see.
But I think TCU loses
Hello.
this weekend anyway, so I think that eliminates that anyways.
Ashley's drinking a Dos Equis. Dos Equis, if you would like to sponsor us as well, that'd be awesome.
She said,
Oh,
did
wow.
you hear
Send me
her
some free Dos
commentary?
Equis.
No.
No.
She said boo Beto on her way out.
Okay. there you
Yeah,
go.
Ashley.
Oh,
Come get those AK-47s now, Beto.
This is totally illegal, but the first
Come
time
get 'em,
Ashley ever
bitch.
voted was 2016, and I made her go vote. I said, "You're going to vote." And as I dropped her off
Boo,
at vote, I said,
Beto.
"If you don't vote for Donald Trump, you can just start walking home. So choose wisely."
I wouldn't say it's illegal. It's
I don't know
immoral.
if that's illegal in a yeah, it's definitely not moral.
yeah.
but-
Usually they're really concerned about voter suppression. That's just like forcing someone to vote. That's different.
No,
Hey,
I mean
I'm
you
seeing
can
this
walk
red
home, it's
wave
fine. You
coming
get
though,
Uber.
boys. These interest rates are about to go down. Let's
Hey,
go.
let's
Yeah.
talk about instead of that.
Interest rate?
Let's talk about
Austin's gonna have
Current-
to reel us in all night.
current Heisman favorites.
Oh,
So we're
I still have Hendon Hooker going number. Oh, Stetson Bennett should be
Nope.
up there though.
I got an
Stetson
idea.
should be
Stetson
it.
Bennett is number 5.
Stetson should be number one.
I
That's
know
in
how
number
I know how
5.
we should do this. I know who should win.
Who?
Drake May.
Boo! Boo! You watch too much ESPN.
What are you talking about? That's not even an ESPN take.
So we got
I don't watch any ESPN, dude.
Stroud is number
I'm
1.
a schoolie, dude.
Stroud is number 1 still at this point in time. Hooker is number 2. Is it Corum? Corum. How do you say the Michigan running back name? Corum?
Blake Corum.
Corum's number 3. Bo Nix, number
He has
4.
no shot though.
Dude,
Bo
Stetson
Nix-
Bennett's number 5.
But don't be surprised if Bo Nix wins this shit.
Bo
Hey,
Nix puts
my
up some
other
numbers.
question: has CJ Stroud really played that great to where?
I mean,
No.
This
Yeah,
week
that's
he
what-
did
that's what I'm
not
thinking.
play good.
he does not deserve a Heisman at this
why,
point in the season.
why not? Ohio State almost every week, besides this week, hits the over by themselves. They cover the over under.
Yeah, but they
by
play in the
themselves.
Big Ten. I mean,
There's no one.
That's what the
impressive,
Heisman
though.
is for, though. The Heisman is for the guy who puts up the big stats. It's still a Power 5 conference, and it's just all about the stats. It's not about are you the best player on the best team.
Currently, there's no one that's super impressive.
You steal my salt too?
no.
No one that just has a wow factor in college football. right now.
If
Okay.
CJ Stroud wins it, I'm gonna be mad. I just don't agree with that.
Read this one.
I don't think it's the best.
Oh my gosh. Shane.
I don't know if it's the best thing. I mean,
Well, it's
I,
not
He'll
even
probably
Zach
win it.
I'm-
He will probably win it. I agree.
I
with
will
that. He'll
agree.
probably win
I
it.
really don't think that there's that many Heisman guys that are just like flying off the page. Like no one's having a Vince Reggie Bush year. No one's
yeah.
having a Marcus Mariota, a Jonathan Manziel,
Well,
like a Lamar
that.
even.
You say that, but Bo Nix has better stats than Marcus Mariota right now in his.
Yeah, but he no, I don't. Bo Nix
Walker's
shouldn't
up
win it
big,
either.
baby. It's almost over. It's over a point.
So
Can
it's
we have a-
so to Austin's point, it's over. CJ Stroud leads in passing yards, passing touchdowns, and passing efficiency. It's over.
It depends
But
on
we
who
don't look-
wins
but-
the Michigan Ohio State game.
It's over.
If
But
Michigan
why don't we
plays
look at
well and
competition?
Corum plays well, then he'll jump Stroud.
He's a running back. He has no shot.
He's played
why-
really well this year, though.
Why don't we look at competition? That's my problem.
We
with
do
it.
look at competition. The Big Ten might not be as good as the
It's
SEC.
garbage.
It's not that garbage. There are
The
still
Austin School of Deaf and Blind could beat some
There's
Big
two.
Ten teams.
There's
I mean,
two teams in
the
the
Austin
Big Ten
School of
worth
Deaf
a
and
fuck.
Blind could beat Texas A&M and Vanderbilt this year.
The Big Ten legitimately is a 1-game season in conference. It's Michigan and
Yeah.
Ohio State. That's the only
To
game
that-
that fucking
To
matters.
that point, Ohio State has beat one ranked team, and that is Penn State, who's not
Penn
good.
State,
Exactly.
Penn State is also a good football team.
They're okay.
Are they as good as Michigan and Ohio State?
No,
No.
not
But-
even close.
Do they have the chance to beat them every 3 years? Possibly.
But they don't. They beat them once in the past decade. Probably both
I'm
of
just
them
saying
together.
I'm saying that it's possible. It's the same thing with Texas A&M versus Alabama. In the past decade, we have beat them twice.
But take this year out. Take this year out. I will void this year. If A&M was in the Big Ten, we would be fighting for a Big Ten championship every single year. I truly
No,
believe that.
we would not
I
beat
truly
Michigan
believe
or
that.
Ohio State.
Besides
I think a couple of years ago, in 2020 we could have beat Michigan.
To
and
be
Ohio
fair,
Ohio State is very good
Michigan
football
was
team.
only good last year. Michigan
yes,
was only good last
exactly.
year.
Yes,
For sure.
yes.
But
Michigan
Ohio
was on
State-
fire hardball.
Ohio
Ohio
State
State is a much
still-
better football team than Texas A&M is. For
Ohio
the past
State
10
still
years.
is on the level of Alabama. They would do whatever they want. Like they
Yeah.
are on that level.
Ohio
No,
State
they are
will
on that
whoop
level.
us.
They
a
are,
lot.
but I think that like Alabama proves that they're Alabama. I think Ohio State does not play good competition. Yes, they get damn good recruits. Yes, they have a good squad. I'm not discounting that they don't have a good squad. But if they played in the SEC, do we really think they would be fighting for an SEC championship every year?
Yes.
I truly don't believe so. I really don't.
Not
I think
every
Ohio
year.
State would. That's not the same argument as Oklahoma or like a team like that. Oklahoma would not. I don't
There
believe
are-
they would.
Ohio State would be a
Middle of the pack team.
No,
in the SEC.
no, they
No.
wouldn't.
I think they'd
No.
be a top
You're
four.
Yes, they
wrong.
would.
Top four
Ohio
SEC team
State
every year.
Ohio State is a good football program.
There
I
are
think
three
they would be a
elite football
top four
teams.
team every year.
There are 3 elite football teams in college football: Bama, Georgia, Ohio State.
Ohio State, they're on the tier alone. They are on a tier alone.
I think Ohio State gets a lot of clout because of their name. And yes,
No.
I agree. They have good players. I do
Hey,
agree with that.
Since the college
wrong
football
about that.
playoff, who's the team that's won the second most amount of national championships?
Ohio
State.
State. Granted,
Sorry,
granted, that number's what, 2?
I mean, it's
One?
Ohio State and Clemson, I think, are tied.
At
You
one?
could put typical. No, Clemson's won twice, have they not?
Yeah,
I thought
Clemson
Clemson
has
won
2.
once. They have
2016, 2018.
You're right. They have 2.
So I
So
mean,
Ohio State and Clemson have
there
twice.
are 4. Sorry, there are 4 elite football teams now. Clemson is not elite this year.
I wouldn't
Alabama's
put
not elite
Clemson up
this year.
there.
No,
I wouldn't put
Clemson
Clemson up
is
there.
not.
Historically, in the past 10 years, Clemson has been an elite football team.
If you seclude it to the last decade, yes. But Clemson prior to the last decade was not good. Ohio
talking
State
about-
was.
During the college football playoff era, which we are now in, Clemson has been a historically good elite football team.
I think Clemson is dead, and I think Alabama's getting there too. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
possible. Both of those things are possible, or it could be fluke years. But there's a reason why they're the 3 teams that have made the playoffs the most.
But I also to Clemson's. So I'm just gonna admit it now. I hate Clemson, so I'm biased against them. I don't know why I hate them. They play in the
Because
ACC,
Dabo
which
is the worst.
Ohio
and
State
in the
has won.
ACC has been
Won.
terrible.
They won the first one.
They won the
when
first one.
They were the
2016.
16
and
seed.
Clemson has 2.
But
LSU
Blake,
has 1, and Georgia
that-
has 1.
Blake, that
Yeah.
same argument could be made for
Alabama
the
has-
Big Ten.
No,
which
the
is a
Big
crap
Ten has been the
conference.
second best conference in the past decade. The Big Ten has been the second best conference in the past decade. The
It's-
ACC is
But it's
ACC is
it's
maybe the
top
fourth?
loaded.
Is the ACC the
Johnny, do you
fourth?
agree
Every
with me on this?
conference is top loaded. The SEC is top loaded. Look how
Not-
good.
not-
Dude,
No,
look
I-
at the
I don't
bottom.
think
Look
it's-
Y'all
at
are-
the bottom. Look at the
I don't
bottom.
think
Look
it's
at
top
Auburn.
loaded.
Look at
The Big
Auburn.
Ten is
Look
the
at
second best
Vanderbilt. Look at
conference.
Missouri. Look at South Carolina. Look at us. We are bad football teams this year. Bad.
I'm once again.
Yeah,
throw
but
this
you
year
could
out.
also
SEC
throw Mississippi State out there with any Big 12 school, and they could put up 70 points and beat
Yes.
the fuck out of them.
Yes.
Hold up. My only argument is that the Big Ten is the second best conference, and Ohio State dominates
Yes.
the Big Ten.
They are. They
Clemson
are, but they're
dominates
still
the
not
ACC. Name the second best team in the ACC,
Florida State.
Wake Forest.
Not
and they're
saying anything.
horrible.
I know. It's just
They're
not saying
horrible.
anything.
North Carolina, actually.
No, actually, it could
And
be
they're
North Carolina.
horrible. Exactly. Thank you. They beat App State by 1
41.
point.
No, the ACC, I think is
Clemson
actually
is
worse.
fraudulent.
I
They've
think
been
that
fraudulent for the
The
past
ACC
decade.
is
No,
absolutely
they have
worse.
not been. They have not been fraudulent the past decade.
They were
That-
good for 2 years.
I was like, that team with Deshaun Watson was very
yes,
good at
I-
football.
that team was very good.
Clemson
Blake,
is good.
I agree with you on that. That Clemson has
The same
ridden-
situation with Oklahoma.
la-
Oklahoma
no.
will run the Big 12, then they get to the playoff and they get
Yes.
absolutely
Last
they get their
year,
panties taken off.
last year,
Yep.
Clemson had an elite defense. Their offense was just terrible.
Was horrible.
Clemson's defense last year rivaled Georgia's defense. They were good.
Agreed. They played. They. I think the Georgia Clemson game was 13-9 or something like that.
Mhm.
They
But-
were good on defense, but their offense was terrible.
DJ Alungalungale, whatever was
He
bad.
is terrible.
And he's still bad. So I mean, Ohio State is a very good football team.
Ohio
just-
State would be the second best team in the SEC, probably.
No.
I think they would. So
I don't agree with
the
that.
the argument would be. So here's what would happen. So
the defense.
question
would
is,
just be
do you
killing.
put them in the East or the West?
Well, they're probably
I mean-
further west
Well,
than
they-
Alabama, aren't they?
Yeah.
If they're in the West, I would say, let's say it's over a 10-year spread. I would say that Alabama wins the West 6 and Ohio
6 and
State wins it
4?
4. If they're
I
in
would
the
agree.
East, I like Georgia's chances against Ohio State better because I think Georgia's defense can match up better.
Well, and I mean, I know that we're coming off this Tennessee high, but like this year alone.
Nah, Georgia's the best team in the country. It's
No,
not
no,
even
no.
close.
I understand. But this year alone, Ohio State's defense isn't nothing to write home about. Like they're not great,
But they're not bad.
but Georgia
They still
Georgia just proved that you better have a damn good defense to stop Hendon Hooker
Well,
in
Okay.
Tennessee.
I
But
tend to
there's
think
there's
that
a-
we may see that matchup this year, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
This year alone, do you take Ohio State to beat Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, or LSU? Which games do they
Not
win?
Georgia, not Georgia. They win 3 out of 4 of them.
Also,
I don't believe that either.
if we would like to, if
I
we would
think
like
they
to
beat
point it-
LSU.
I think if they played LSU right now, it may be a really close game in LSU.
No,
I don't
think
agree.
it's
I
a-
don't
I think
agree.
it's a close game, but I think that Ohio State be lucky to win one of those 4 games.
LSU
I
is
think
a
y'all are
complete
discounting
different
Ohio
team
State.
than what they
Also-
were.
Ohio
at the
State
beginning of
has the
season.
best wide receiver group in the country.
They
Can
do.
we-
They have a good quarterback.
Who have they played with a defense?
Dude, they don't play people. Like, that's the problem.
I'm not disagreeing with that necessarily, but
It's
I'm saying
really hard.
they also
they-
blow every single team
have they
out
played-
besides
have-
Northwestern.
wait.
Really hard to say you're the second best team in the country when you don't play anyone.
All right,
important.
hold on. Let's
Exactly.
bring some fact-based evidence into here. First of all, has Ohio State played Illinois yet?
No,
No,
they'll play
they
in
would
the
have
Big
to
Ten
play them in
Championship.
the.
I
It'll be in the Big
didn't
Ten
know if they
Championship.
played them in the regular
It'd be no, they
So,
won't play them in the
Illinois
spring.
has the number 1 defense in the country. When it
Dude,
comes
their defense is stupid good.
so
But I
that'll
think
be
Ohio State will put 30 on them.
that'll be a game where we'll see. Also, to Jonathan's point earlier of, and we've already talked about they have a much weaker strength of schedule. Ohio State has the 8th best defense in the country.
Yeah, their defense is good.
But they're not playing anyone. It's
I'm
really
not disagreeing.
easy to have good stats when you
Yes,
play
yes.
But
Northwestern.
What
when you
close
play-
games have they played? What close games have they played?
It doesn't. I don't think that matters. That's
They
my
battled
problem.
it out this week.
This
Yeah, but
week
that's
in a
against a
terrible
one-
weather.
I know
But
that
you're playing
Northwestern
a
also had to play
1-7
in that.
Northwestern team.
I agree. There was 50 mile an hour per hour winds, whatever. But that's a fluke. That's a straight up fluke. Georgia played Missouri close, but I still think Georgia's the number 1 team in the nation by far. I don't think it's close.
So Ohio State started off by playing what was at the time
Notre
the
Dame.
number 5th country team in the country with Notre Dame.
Who's not
Handled that.
good.
Who's not good, but they also just
They beat
beat the
Clemson.
number 4 team in the country. So
But they're also
not-
fraudulent.
Eh, Clemson's
not.
a fraud. I agree with
Man,
Blake on that
terrible.
one. Clemson
They-
is a fraud.
they beat Penn State at Penn State
In a good game.
by 2 scores.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they scored that last
that-
touchdown in the
I
So
last
no,
was-
that was
no.
actually a close game, and then they
It
scored
was.
like 3 straight touchdowns on defense.
Yeah.
Iowa's defense
late.
is a legitimate defense.
But their offense
Their
is-
offense
I know that
so
Iowa's
bad.
defense is pathetic. How many points did they score in Iowa's defense?
54.
54. Like Ohio State, I'm not going to if they're playing the Georgias and the Bamas or whatever, it's going to be a shootout if they're going to win, but Ohio State can score points. They can
My only-
score some points.
My only point is saying that Ohio State is like a middle of the ground SEC team. That's just straight up denial. Ohio State would be the second best team in the SEC every single year.
Second or
I
third.
would
Second
not
or
be the
third.
second.
When the
It'd
big-
It'd be Alabama,
Top
Georgia, Ohio
4.
State.
Yeah.
Top 4.
Alabama, Georgia,
who's-
Ohio State would be
So
on a
who's the
tier
4th
above-
team
on
that's
their
ahead
own.
of them?
I don't believe LSU
if they
is.
were dropped in today,
Yeah.
Who's better than
Tennessee's a better team than Ohio State.
I
Tennessee
don't necessarily
cannot play
agree with
defense.
that. They
Tennessee
can't play
does not play
defense.
defense.
Their
But
secondary
Tennessee
is
can
Then
terrible.
let
out-
Ohio State
Tennessee, you can
try to
outrun
play
you.
defense on Hendon Hooker. It will be the best offense they'll see all season. It will be the only offense they've truly seen all season. It'd be
Blake,
incredible.
Georgia
Actually,
has a
I'm
good
not gonna
defense.
lie. I'm taking Michigan
Agreed.
over Ohio State this year.
I'm not.
I mean, that's fair, Jonathan. You can say all that.
You have a
guess
better
what?
argument for
For
saying
Tennessee,
Michigan's schedule's
Ohio
terrible.
State is going to be the best offense they've seen all season. Ohio State's
Agreed.
offense is significantly better than Georgia's, and Georgia just dominated their defense. Not just did their defense dominate Tennessee's
Hooker
offense.
Hooker couldn't do
Stetson
anything.
Bennett,
No,
Stetson
Yeah.
Bennett did whatever Stetson Bennett wanted to that game. He did
Yeah.
whatever he
They-
wanted to.
And Tennessee's offense couldn't do anything.
I'm not even
I think
I'm
that-
talking
I
about
think
that.
I think we
Tennessee's
are just
defense couldn't do anything against Georgia's offense.
Agreed.
And Ohio State's offense is light years ahead of Georgia's
I-
offense.
I think Ohio State and Tennessee would be an old school Big 12 shootout. I
it
really
would.
do.
The score
it would just be stupid points.
That
Yep.
defensive lineman on Ohio State should win the Heisman. Honestly, whatever his name is, that Hawaiian man should
I
win the
think you
Heisman.
put it. I think you put it on a neutral field. I think I think Ohio State is favored by 7 points in Vegas, and
I
2,
agree.
I think that Ohio State covers that spread.
I hate Ohio State as much as the next guy, but it's denial.
They're a good
to think that
team.
They
They're a
are.
great
Yeah,
team,
they are.
and they've been a great team for a long time.
A long time.
No, because
Probably,
I mean,
probably
they
longer
are.
than every other team we've seen. Alabama's been good since 2007. Ohio State was good long before 2007. Name a season Ohio State wasn't at the top of the
Well,
league. Or whatever.
they're a top national brand in college football history.
They're top 4,
100%. Yeah,
They're-
if not top 2.
They are an elite
No,
football team.
No one's arguing with their brand. I just my problem is I don't think you play quality games. And granted, yes, I don't know. I just don't think they play
It's
quality.
the second
Also-
best league in America, though.
My argument on the Tennessee.
It's not hard to be the second best in right now. It's
My
just
argument
not.
on the my
Jonathan,
argument
time
on
out.
the
Austin and Blake are both two people who constantly every year say Big Ten football is trash.
it is trash,
We
but Ohio State makes them trash.
It's not hard to be the second best league in football right now. It's just not.
Well, that's not fair.
I mean,
ACC has been
I
god
don't think
awful
it's.
for
I don't
years.
think it's. I don't think it's the SEC up here and the Big Ten down here. I think it's more like probably around here.
bro, no bullshit.
No, I 100%.
I would take Ole Miss right now to go to the Big Ten and dump truck most of that league.
Well, that's why you have no clue what you're talking about.
What are you talking?
also, hold on. Let's back up before we get into that. That's a whole new topic of debate.
There's a reason.
If we are talking
There's
on
a
a
reason.
year-to-year basis, on a year-to-year basis, based off of consistency of teams, there is no way that you can say that Ohio State is not the third best team in the SEC or 1, 2, or 3. Because Tennessee is good this year. When was the last time Tennessee
what
was
I'm saying.
good?
I'm not saying consistent.
Ohio State would be a
1998.
perennial. Ohio State would be perennially, like every year, competing for the SEC championship.
And they get whatever recruit they want. They get whatever recruit they want.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, if they were in the SEC, they would be 1, 2, or 3 on a year-to-year basis. Some years they'd be 3, some years they'd be 2, some years they'd be 1. Like, it just depends on how good Bama and Georgia are those years, because
Agreed.
that's how it is.
I'm,
And every
I'm
once
not
in a while,
consistently, they wouldn't be a top 3 team. I'm saying right now, if you put them in the SEC, they are the 4th best team in the SEC.
what I
Behind
really
Ole
hope,
Miss.
No.
the matchup. So the matchups that I want, I think the most exciting college football playoff matchups is that Ohio State beats Michigan. Michigan drops to 4. TCU loses somewhere along the way. So
Please, thank
They're
God,
done.
please.
and Tennessee jumps to 3. Georgia's defense against Michigan's physical offense. It'll be a low scoring game, but it'll be it'll be just like the Titans Chiefs game the other night, where
Be a fight.
they're just beating the crap out of each other for 60 minutes, and it'll be fun to watch.
And we love that
And
football.
At the same time, you will get the opposite of that with Ohio State versus Tennessee, and the score will be 65-64.
And I'm fine with that. Honestly, that'd be a great playoff.
I think that would be a fantastic playoff, and I don't care who wins in that scenario. Whichever, like, it'll be a good 1v4 game, I think. I think Georgia dominates Michigan, to be honest, but because I don't think Michigan can throw the ball.
No,
and
if Michigan has to play from behind, which they will, they are. in trouble.
But I think it'll be a good smash mouth football game, old school, fun to watch. While Ohio State, Tennessee would be a good new school, spread the ball, 1,700 yards of offense combined in the game, 60. plus
Ohio
points.
State's only been in the playoff 3 times. They've been in the final twice. They won the first year. The last time was 2021. They lost to Alabama 52-24.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, Shane, every year when you look at the playoffs, the
It's all
numbers
blowouts.
they're all blowouts. Like
No, I
the
get that, but
the
Ohio
playoff
State's
has
only
shown
been in
that
the
it's pointless.
but they've only been in the playoffs 3 times in the Final Four 3 times.
That's
They've
the
not been
second
in.
most. That's the second most of any team, probably, or maybe
I get
third.
that, but
Clemson's probably
but
more.
but they're no Clemson's more. We're acting like they've been in there so many damn like
They're
they're
in there the
Alabama.
third most out of all of the teams in the country. So they're like the top 3.
Actually,
Clemson's-
they're tied with Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's been in there 3 times.
Yes, because Notre
Yes.
Dame, we talk about this every year. Notre Dame is the brand bias that they put in so that they can put the game on NBC, and then Notre Dame gets mollywopped.
I'm shocked they've been in there 3 times, honestly.
How many years? What year are we going on in the playoff now? 6?
This is year
This is
6.
Yeah.
So
No,
they
this
get
is
it-
year 7. This is year 7, I think.
This is
So-
year 9, guys.
No, it's like 7.
It's literally 2014 was
Was
the
it
first year.
2014?
So that'd be 8.
8.
Definitely-
Yeah,
No,
year 8.
no.
Yeah.
2014 was the
I'm
year. wasn't that the
looking
year
at it
Auburn?
right now.
Damn. Is it that long ago?
Remember
Yes.
when Washington was in the playoff? Do you
That's
remember
right.
that?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing for us.
Or they beat Oregon in the first playoff in 2014, 42-20.
And then Alabama whooped their asses.
No, Ohio State won
yeah,
the first
demolished
national
them.
championship in the
I thought that
playoff.
was 20. I thought that was 2016.
Ohio
No.
State was the first winner. They were the 16 seed in the original college football playoff ranking, and they
And
won.
We
they,
the whole
had-
thing.
they won from the
with
4
Zeke.
Ohio State versus Oregon in 2014. Then we had Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Alabama,
Alabama's damn
LSU.
Alabama,
Alabama's
Alabama,
dang good.
Alabama, Alabama.
Or,
Alabama is-
I'm sorry, Clemson, LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia.
Hey, can we have our? Never mind. I don't want to get us canceled.
What? What are we talking
Nothing.
about? Okay. Hey,
New Hampshire's political race. Whatever. We'll get canceled. There's
for
a
which
person.
one? For Senate or for governor?
It's just I can't remember. I think Senate. It was a hot race that I'm watching. The incumbent is named Hassan. Do we
Okay.
really trust someone with the last name
All
Hassan?
right, let's
to do
talk about
anything?
let's talk about professional football now.
My boy
Uh,
DeSantis is going to win by 2 million votes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
2 million.
professional football.
Oklahoma went wild red.
It was some good times in professional football this week. Blake said this week sucked, but there was multiple games that were all close games.
I was probably depressed from the A&M game, honestly, but
I want your I mean, Blake, you gotta I know it's gotta be miserable because they're 4 and 5,
Pistol.
but watching the Falcons every week has got to be the most exciting thing living in Atlanta. Their
It
games
actually
are
is.
always so fun. They suck.
I find myself like somewhat as a Falcons fan. I'm like a Cowboys fan primarily, but secondarily, I'm kind of rooting for the Falcons because every game they play is pretty close. And
Yeah.
Arthur Smith, you cannot help but root for that man.
I love my guy Arthur Smith.
I mean, he's
He
rich as can
literally does
be,
not have to. Yeah, he
apart
doesn't
from
have to have a
Florida,
job.
or apart from coaching. But you got to root for this man.
Also, I mean, he's kind of revived. Mariota looks like a serviceable quarterback in the right system.
So this is the problem that NFL coaches and honestly Jimbo Fisher gets into is they try to like create an offense and then fix the quarterback to that offense.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith has said, we don't trust Mariota. We're going to run the ball until you're dead, and it works.
And
And
unfortunately,
then once in a while,
that
Mariota
system-
will throw it.
unfortunately, that system failed them because Mariota missed Kyle Pitts wide open on the deep ball that wins the game. That's the only unfortunate thing.
Agreed.
Kyle Pitts beat his guy deep. He was wide open. He missed him.
But I think Mariota started like 9 of 9 or something like
Yeah.
that because he doesn't ever have to throw the ball.
Correct. And this game put up the two most cursed franchises in NFL history with the Chargers and the Falcons. And they proved it with the double fumble. Greatest play.
Double
just
fumble is
proved
ridiculous.
The double fumble proved that the Atlanta Falcons are more cursed than the Los Angeles Chargers.
The Eckler fumble was like, okay, we can roll with that, whatever. And then whoever was carrying for the Falcons, he didn't even get touched. He just dropped
it. I know.
it. He
it was
just dropped
sad.
it.
He was
was
holding
very
the
sad.
he was holding the loaf of bread and he just dropped it.
It's like, dude, just go down. Just go down.
um
I still
Other-
think the Falcons win the AFC South, though.
NFC South. but
NFC
no,
South, whatever.
the Bucks will get it there. I mean, it's just the person from the NFC South is going to have a losing record or like be 9-8. They're going to host a playoff game. It's going to be Tom Brady during the playoffs, and his team's going to magically get healthy, and then they're going to win, and they're going to go on a run because the NFC is so bad. The
So
NFC
bad.
is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
bad.
Do the
Like the
Cowboys even
Vikings
have a challenger?
The Vikings are 7-1, and the Vikings suck. The Cowboys have a challenger. Their name is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are a
Yes.
good team. The Cowboys are a good team, and every other team in the NFC is not a good
Sucks.
football team.
It sucks for the AFC teams like the Chiefs or the
Yeah,
Bills.
the Chiefs, the Bills, the
Because
Jets.
I
The
mean,
Jets.
yeah.
Dude,
But the Jets have a sucky offense.
The Jets are a good team, though.
Their offense is terrible. Their defense is legit.
If Brees Hall didn't tear his ACL, the Jets have a decent.
I shouldn't say
offense. Not
their
great.
offense isn't terrible. Their quarterback, Zach Wilson, is terrible.
Yep.
Ow.
Yes,
The
terrible.
Ravens are not a bad team. They're not a great
They're
team.
not bad.
They're not bad.
I agree.
The Ravens would
Lamar
dominate.
Jackson
The Ravens
is
would
bad.
definitely be the 2 seed in the NFC.
Agreed.
Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson is trash.
He's not trash, but he's not. Let's talk about it. Let's just get into it. Forget all the other things I wrote down. We've been talking for a while. I think we have finally proved this season. I think, what are we on? Week 9 is what we're going into this week. Week 10? We're going into week 10. I think through 10 weeks, we can finally say definitively, it's not a hot take. The classic quarterback is dead. If you do not have a somewhat mobile quarterback, your team is screwed.
Yeah.
Name like a classic quarterback in the league right now that's like got a good team.
Joe Burrow, but they're
But Joe Burrow runs though too.
I know.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
They all suck.
Kirk Cousins is 7-1. He's a classic
Kirk
quarterback.
Cousins.
But that team is so fraudulent. They're so fraudulent. They're bad.
Y'all some damn haters.
They might even make the NFC Championship, but it's just because the NFC is so bad.
Now, wait, don't get me wrong. Their defense is all right. Their defensive line can rush the passer. I love me some Harrison Smith, but we're some haters. They barely beat bad teams every week.
They won.
They did win.
I don't think they've had a double-digit win all year.
I think
against a legitimate component.
I think the Cowboys, if they played the Vikings right now, would be 7.5-point favorites.
And that's probably fair because the Cowboys defense is
legit.
Legit.
Offense.
This week will be interesting for the Cowboys defense in Lambeau, only because it'll be interesting to see if they hold them to 0.
Oh, it's in Dallas.
But if
it's in Lambeau. It's
at Lambeau. It's at
Cooper's
Lambeau.
going to Lambeau.
Yeah.
Oh, that was why I freaking took the bet because I was like, it's in Dallas.
Doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm taking Dallas minus 1,000 in this game. I think the 6-man offenses are starting to prove effective because there's a lot of defenses that I would say are statistically or like classically good defenses, but they don't have the speed to keep up with the quarterback, and that's the problem. Like if you look at the New England Patriots, for example, I know they played the Colts this week, and the Colts are bad on offense, but the New England Patriots defense has looked very good every single week, except for the week that they played against Josh Allen and Justin Fields. When they play against quarterbacks who can leave the pocket and are in a 6-man, which for all of our uneducated listeners that's all right. That was rude. So those who don't understand 6-man backfield, that means that you have 5 players, which are your classic running back and 4 wide receivers that are athletic players. And then your 6th person becomes your quarterback. So like Justin Fields this week sets the quarterback regular season rushing record with 178 rushing yards because the Miami Dolphins defense is not built to play against a quarterback that can run the football. And he escaped the pocket and he just dominated. And Justin
I also
Fields
lost some respect for Tua.
Why?
Because his
the
press
highest QBR in the league.
Because he went to his press conference and talked all this. Oh, that's a bad dude right there, Justin Fields, blah, blah, blah. You don't go to a press conference and say that shit. Hell no. You say he got lucky. Our defense dropped the ball. And
Justin Fields is legit at this point. I'm not gonna lie.
He is as
Playing well.
he is as an athlete. The man's passing leaves a lot to want.
Agreed. But they figured out
threw
how
for-
to use him much like Jalen Hurts. They figured out how to use Jalen Hurts.
yeah, but the
Justin-
difference between
here's why
Jalen Hurts and
QBR is
Justin Fields
stupid.
is Hurts can win a playoff game. Fields will never win a playoff
well,
game.
the Bears are terrible. Regardless, the Bears are
So,
terrible.
but even if you swap teams, freaking Fields is not winning a playoff game with the
Yes, he
Philadelphia
is.
Eagles.
Yes,
I
he
don't
is.
think so.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think he is.
You put Justin Fields on that Eagles team, and the Eagles are scary. I mean, the Eagles are already scary. Like, Jalen Hurts is really not that good of a passer.
I think he's better than
Sure is
Justin
passing well.
Fields.
Like, I mean, if you give Fields with that offense, I would be terrified to play
I think
them.
you'd have similar outcomes. I legitimately think you'd have similar outcomes.
But Fields definitely.
I'm
This
glad
is
we
why
have a lot of
QBR is
disagreement
stupid.
this week.
Fields, I think, threw 28 passes this week and only threw for like 128 yards. Like, that's not good.
But he ran for 180.
No. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm saying his passing leaves some
lot
things
to be
to still be
desired.
desired. And I would say the exact same with Jalen Hurts. I would say Jalen Hurts passing leaves a lot to be desired as well. Now, when you get Miles Sanders and Gainwell going and also him on the read option, and then the defense is sucked down and you have A.J. Brown to throw to, like, I think Justin Fields would be much improved if he had A.J. Brown to throw to, a good wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean,
Who's the Bears' top receiver? Mooney? Darnell Mooney?
Mooney.
If shoot, what's his name? Robinson went to the Bears. Not the Bears. He went from the Bears to the Rams. What's his first name? Allen Robinson. You gave Justin Fields Allen Robinson this year. Holy cow, that offense would be terrifying. Because I like Montgomery at running back. Mooney would be a good number 2 receiver, in my opinion, but not a number 1. And Justin Fields proved this week he is very fast. Like, very fast. A good runner. But I think
Jalen isn't throwing the ball a lot, but he's taking care of it.
correct, which is what Justin Fields needs to be.
Which Jonathan goes back
He's taking care of the ball important now.
I knew that was coming.
Which also, if you are Jim Harbaugh on the Baltimore Ravens, that's what your offense should also be. Lamar would also be very good if he was only throwing the ball 20 times a game.
They won't do it with Lamar though.
If you put Lamar Jackson in the Philadelphia Eagles offense, he would also be very good.
Agreed. He can outrun anyone on the field. He could be a wide receiver. He'd be amazing.
That's possible.
No,
Same with
they don't- they
Justin
just-
Fields. Justin Fields is fast.
I agree. Justin
Fields
me,
is booking it.
I thought Justin Fields was gonna die like as a Chicago Bears quarterback and be terrible his entire career. He's
Quick.
He's pretty good athlete.
He's a good athlete.
Pretty good athlete.
Also,
What?
Justin Fields is kind of big. He's surprisingly kind of big too.
him
like
and Jalen
Lamar-
Hurts are very similar.
Lamar, now
Jalen's
Jalen's definitely bigger and
Jalen's
slower.
bigger
Agreed.
than Fields.
But-
Agreed, but he's close.
I would
Jalen
say
is 6'1", 223.
I would say that Jalen
Justin's
is
gotta
a
be up
shorter version of Josh Allen, a worse passer than Josh Allen. But like Jalen can take some hits. Justin Fields
is 6'3", 230.
6'3", 230. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is bigger.
yeah, but I feel like he's
Jalen Hurts
I feel like he's
Hurts
thinner.
squats like 600 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hurts has all of his Hurts and Sam Ellinger are built similarly. They got
Legs,
this like
yeah.
legs that are just
Yeah,
tree trunks.
Hurts will run through. He'll run through you.
Hurts will run through you. Fields will just run right
He'll
by
run.
you as that. I don't know what the safety of the Miami Dolphins is, that he just like was flat footed and he's like, oh, I got this. And then all of a sudden he like Justin Fields is in the end zone. It was great.
I will say, if you're
No.
a Bears fan, you have to be so hyped because you keep losing, but your team looks better and better every single week.
Every week.
But even like the quarterbacks at like the top, which we will talk about them more later in the pod, but like Patrick Mahomes against the Titans this week. Yes, he threw for 446 yards, but it was a very skewed. He also threw the ball 70 freaking times.
Yeah,
But when it mattered most,
he came through.
Mahomes can also run. and he proved it. Like the final drive, he converted a 3rd and 17. He also scored with his legs. He scored the game tying touchdown and 2-point conversion with his legs. Like defenses need to be able to stop a quarterback that escapes the pocket. And your classic QBs like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
His
And,
Wi-Fi
What a
goes.
Austin's Wi-Fi.
what a terrible host.
oh no,
Austin's
did I
Wi-Fi.
drop? Did I drop
Yep.
for all of that? Oh no.
Dropped.
Oh no.
All right, start it all over. Shane, hold your sign up.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Um, I don't know. All your quarterbacks that are like starting to go down the list, like your Jared Goffs, your Matthew Staffords, your Tom Brady's,
He's not
your Aaron
healthy.
Rodgers. Like I know that they might have offensive line issues and things like that, but you know what? Some of these quarterbacks that are mobile have offensive line issues and they get around it now. Like Justin Fields' offensive line is not great, but he goes.
Yeah, it seems like this always seems to happen. Is like the NFL is almost like 10 years behind college football. Where like the mobile quarterback was big in college football 10 years ago. Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, and the NFL was so far behind it. Now all of a sudden it looks like the NFL is starting to catch up at that point.
Yeah, but is it really like I understand being mobile and like being able to scramble, but like how this conversation started, like Lamar Jackson isn't just a scrambling QB. He is a runner. That's
For
like
sure.
and I don't think there is a world where you're winning Super Bowls and you're the peak of football where your quarterback is running more than he's thrown.
No,
But
my
I
point.
think Pat Mahomes has proved like if
You
you, have
need-
a good defensive
Pat's
line,
a great example.
You
of
need
what
to be
he
both.
he will get out there.
My
Like
point
But
you
is
Pat
should be able to
Mahomes-
extend the play.
my point is if you're trying to win Super Bowls, you need someone who can do both. Now they still have to be an elite passer,
Agreed.
but
But it doesn't have to be
Uh-oh.
designed runs either. Like Josh
not
Allen, my
designed.
problem with theirs is they design way too many runs for him.
correct. But
Warnock
Josh Allen,
and his lead right foot are making a comeback.
my point, but Josh Allen is a freak of nature that it's going to take a lot to
He
get him
is.
hurt.
Oh,
It's going to take a
he's
lot to get him hurt.
freak, dude.
The only reason why he's hurt right now is because he was in the act of throwing.
Tommy John.
But
But is Lamar Jackson? This is. I know you said we're getting to this later, but I can't hold.
no,
it.
we're at it.
Lam-
We're in it right
I-
now. We're doing Lamar
Okay,
right now. This is when we're doing it.
I'm a Saints fan, so I watched the game last night. Most of America probably was smart and did not watch the game. You all three might call me on the spectrum. Lamar Jackson is a slightly better Taysom Hill, a slightly better throw of the ball than Taysom Hill.
No,
He
I
is
would-
Taysom
I
Hill
wouldn't-
with a slightly better thrower of the ball. That's all he is. He is literally that. That's it.
I will say Lamar when it comes to throwing leaves a lot to be desired. I think that their offensive strategy is horrendous. It's to Blake's point. They have an offense that they want Lamar to run, and they don't run an offense that matches Lamar. Lamar Jackson would be amazing in an offense under somebody like Sean McVay when Sean McVay did his thing back in the day. Lamar is never under center. Do you know how dangerous Lamar would be on a naked boot? On a naked boot play? Like, I mean,
He can outrun anyone.
I don't think that the Baltimore Ravens use or like Lamar Jackson would be amazing under like a coach like Andy Reid who fits his offense to match his players. But I'm very glad that they're not because Lamar is a freak athlete. If you get Lamar the situations that other QBs that are more mobile get, where you just have to throw it to a guy who's very open. He's very open. Lamar can make those throws. Lamar is still a decent thrower, but if you're trusting him to play in a system like Patrick Mahomes does currently, where you have to, or Tom Brady, where you have to throw the guy open, Lamar is going to struggle. You want Lamar to play in a college style offense like Tua did, where every wide receiver has got 2 yards of separation because of play action and because of all of these things.
My-
Watch it. My thing is watching that game last night. I literally sat there and went, literally, Lamar might make 5 more completions than Taysom. They're the exact same player, but Lamar might make 5 more completions than Taysom Hill, and they're
Bro.
not going to be game-changing decision or
Lamar
game-changing
is much
completions.
more electric in the run game than Taysom Hill is. I know.
I
Dude, no. Well, sorry, they're definitely very different styles of runner.
yes,
Yeah.
Taysom's not
Oh,
gonna
Lamar-
outrun you,
through you,
but
bro.
Taysom's gonna run through you. Taysom's
Yeah, but
gonna just say, "Come
most-
on, motherfucker, let's
Taysom
go."
is also significantly larger than Lamar
Most
Jackson.
guys in the NFL, you might run them over and fall forwards, but they will be able to get you onto the ground. Lamar,
Yeah.
people struggle to even touch him.
The thing that
Taysom will just run you over.
the thing I always think of when I watch Lamar play is like it's when I'm
Please
watching.
don't put him on my team.
No, well that, but when I'm watching him play and I'm watching this team play, my mind goes to I'm a high school football coach that has no kid that can really throw the ball. So I'm just going to take my best athlete, put him right behind the center, and let him play quarterback because 90% of the time I'm just going to let him scramble around until something happens. And when I watch them play, that is exactly what I think. When I watch them play, I go, wow, they are running a high school offense that doesn't have a kid that can sit in a pocket and throw a ball. Like, to me, that's what it is. And to me, that will never win you a Super Bowl. It's a waste of your time. I know that the whole theory of the conventional quarterback's dead. I don't think it is. I think you need a conventional quarterback that can run a little bit to extend plays. I don't need a guy to rush for
the NFL.
I do not need my quarterback hanging in with my running backs at yards per carry.
No, I'm not saying that. That is not what I am saying. I'm saying you have to have a 6-man offense. You have to have a quarterback that has the ability to make the play when they need to with their legs, like which a lot of teams, half the teams currently don't have. But if you look at the top of the both
Both
the divisions, the Buffalo Bills, they have that. Josh Allen will lead his team in rushing every week. I'm not saying that's the best strategy, but
he can do it.
But he can do it. The Chiefs are second. Mahomes can do it. The Ravens are third. Lamar can do it. I'm not saying that that's the best. I would also say Lamar is not your best case scenario. The Titans, even Tannehill can do it. Like, he's athletic enough.
He was formerly a wide receiver, in case you didn't know.
No, and I agree. I'm fine with the quarterback that can take off on you and make it happen when need be. But I'm not okay with the Malik Willis situation in Tennessee.
No, it's bad.
They have terrible game planning against him. They threw the ball 14 times or 15 times, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They didn't even give that dude a chance.
He ran more than he threw.
No,
he just handed off to Derrick Henry.
When they gave him a chance,
he ran a lot.
That man would hold on to the ball for 30 seconds.
I agree. At the beginning of the game, I was thinking, shoot, they're not giving him enough chance to even try. And then towards the middle of the game, I was like, okay, he can't handle this. But also, it's like you didn't even really give him a legitimate shot.
But I'm also saying the teams towards the bottom, like the Texans and the Steelers and the Raiders and the Jaguars, they've all got your conventional quarterback right now, which I know they have other issues, but
they have many issues.
But they're playing. The quarterbacks are also not playing well, just because they can't escape the pocket if they need to. Which a lot of the big plays that are happening in the NFL now are when the quarterback can extend the play to 4 seconds instead of less than 2.
There's so many good defensive linemen out there you have to be able to avoid.
Hey, that brings up a good question. Are we seeing – so we're absolutely seeing a flex in the amount of talent on defensive line. Are we just seeing a low amount of talent on offense? Like
There's
the
so many
offensive
good
line,
defensive linemen
to
out there.
me, it's just the offensive line is not keeping up with defense.
I think the way that the NFL rules and everything are going now, and the way that the NFL offenses are playing, this is the downside of these weird RPO kind of style plays. You're getting a lot more offensive lineman injuries than normal.
I like
Like the
But it-
Rams, the Rams are the Super Bowl champs. Before the first week of the season, they lost 3 of their
Yeah.
5 starters on offense for the season.
yeah,
Like
And the Bucks did too.
Bucks too.
Bucks did too.
And you're losing offensive linemen to injuries like crazy right now. And that's a big deal. That's a real big deal. I think, and I'm hoping that they're gonna find ways to protect offensive linemen some way. I know they're trying to throw all these things for player safety. They need to get rid of turf is the number one thing to get rid of for player safety. But yeah, timeout. You got it.
Come out.
Herschel Walker's going to win his
No.
election.
Coppin State University, who I've never heard of. If you could tell me the state they're in, that's amazing. Just hit a buzzer beater to tie Georgetown to go to overtime
Coppin State, is that on
State?
ESPN Plus? Is that ESPN
On-
Plus?
on ESPN Plus.
Did
Oh
you-
no,
did you
I
say-
bought in.
I'm on.
Let's go.
I'm on Fox Sports.
Do they
Did
still
you say-
have?
Did you
Can't
say
do they still have
Compton
Ewing?
State?
No, Ewing got fired, didn't he?
No, Ewing's
I
the
don't know.
head coach at Georgetown.
Oh, I thought he got fired.
Did you say Compton State?
Coppin.
Mm.
Oh,
Coppin.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
tuned
out of
in.
Pensil-
Let's go.
they're out of-
I'm
they're out
tuned
of
in.
This is why college
Pennsylvania.
basketball is fun.
No,
Um,
I'm sure they're from Pennsylvania, but I've never
Blake.
heard
So
Coppin
crazy
State.
stat: the 5 upsets last night. If you had parlayed them together, if you had
Oh, they're out of Maryland.
$100 parlay would have won you $1 billion.
I mean,
or something stupid like
yeah,
that.
did
It
y'all
might have been
see-
$1 million.
Did y'all see the freaking parlay, the same game parlay that Boston Connor put together for $25?
That was
He
amazing.
won
38
50
grand. 38 grand.
Yeah,
He won
that was
38 grand on
amazing.
$25 because he bet 4 different people in the same game to get 2+
To score
touchdowns. They
2+
all hit.
yeah.
It was great. Blake, are you,
Coppin State.
getting scared? Herschel's not going to get to 50, but he's going to win the.
I know they're gonna have a
Poppers,
runoff
the
December
is
6th
in
or whatever. It's gonna be a runoff.
Maryland.
But at least
He's
it's
only
a
at
runoff
40.
win.
He's only at
So does that mean
49.5.
you gotta take? That means you gotta take your happy ass back to the polls to vote.
Yeah, you eliminate the
The
independent guy,
independent guy.
and then it's gonna be a true.
It's just those 2
50-50.
people on the
It-
ballot.
That
So
the
which
prime
means a
example
Democrat
of
will
why
win
the
every time.
independent vote is a waste of fucking votes.
But the
Don't
good
tell
news is
Tyler Stitchkowski that.
no.
Oh.
The good news about that is you have a runoff, right? The independent voters are more likely to vote Republican than Democrat, 100%.
True.
Oh, I figured they were more likely to vote Democrat
No,
because they probably like to
Shane,
finger bang
Shane.
their
No,
boyfriend.
they would have
No.
voted Democrat.
Shane, a libertarian is a person who's a Republican who's afraid to tell their friends they're a Republican. That's all it is. They're like,
All right.
I like pot, but I also vote Republican 90% of the time.
So
Like,
Tyler,
fuck off. You're a
Ty-
Republican.
Ty-
You just like drugs.
Tyler and Will.
Yes.
Yes.
Facts.
right.
They're
We've had-
conservatives that like marijuana.
We've
Like,
had
there
a
you
lot
go.
of we've had a lot of debates tonight. Let's have another one. And I will try my best to make this even.
This has been a productive podcast.
We're gonna talk about Tom Brady's comeback
Uh-oh.
against the Los
Uh-oh.
Angeles Rams. And
Dude.
I will throw it out here. To make it even. I will also tell you that Patrick Mahomes did not play well on Sunday night.
Agreed.
However, he led the comeback and he won the game. But
A little different situations, I feel like.
I
little
was so
different.
mad at you on Sunday. I was
I
so
mean,
mad about that.
why?
text.
Because I was right.
No,
Okay, Tom.
I just
Tom
said-
Brady.
Brady's under Brady, and you said he played awful. I agree, he played awful.
You
I
said
don't
Brady was going to
agree that
Brady
he didn't just
after.
pull off a Tom Brady and
But
just
you
win
said
in
he-
the last minute and a half.
The thing that
No.
the thing that makes me so mad, right, is the Rams all of a sudden go into this prevent defense.
Yo,
And
That-
Tom
that-
Brady
I
is
agree,
gonna
it's
dink
stupid.
and dunk you to death. He
yeah.
will dink and dunk you to death.
Scotty Miller caught 4 consecutive passes for
Yeah.
8+ yards on the sideline with no contest.
Yeah,
It makes
That
no
is
sense.
a deep.
You played You played defense for 58 minutes, and they couldn't move the ball. And
You
suddenly you
play
change it all up.
to
To
win
win
the
the
game.
game.
And they
One
played
thing
to
I will-
lose.
One thing I'll never get about what I agree. I was one of the ones that texted Tom Brady's going to Tom Brady because he took what the defense. We always preach: take what the defense gives you. He took what the defense gave him, but the Rams defensive coordinator should have been fired the day after because you beat his ass the whole
But
game.
they all do it. They all
Yeah.
do it.
They all
No,
do.
they do. That's
You
what
played
I
press
look at.
coverage on every single play for the entire game. And Aaron Donald was dominating that
Yes.
game. He
So
might not have like
what-
had a bunch of sacks, but he affected Tom
But he
Brady on
dominates.
almost
Yes.
every
Yep.
throw.
You can put
And-
2 safeties deep, and if somebody beats a corner, you have 2 safeties to help.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
and
what
not only
doesn't make
that,
sense to me.
not only that, you played the whole game the way you played. If you get beat on a deep ball, you know what? You got
Also,
beat. It is what it
it's
is.
like
Why
the
are
Rams
you
didn't
gonna-
pay attention. Julio got hurt and wasn't playing. Mike Evans got hurt on the second play of the game, which
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that in a second as well. Like Mike Evans was short arming everything because Tom Brady murdered his wide receiver for the 10 millionth time in his career. And so all they had was the tight end that's not Cameron Brate. I can't remember his freaking name. He got the game winning pass.
It's like
And
Oconee or something
whatever.
like that.
And
Yeah,
Scotty
he's-
Miller and Chris Godwin, who is a shell of himself since he tore his ACL.
I
And
love
it's just
Scotty
like,
Miller. I just want
There's
to point that out.
no way
He dropped the easy touchdown.
he
He did.
dropped. So he did drop the easy touchdown, but
But I do love
there's
him.
no reason why they shouldn't have been able to play press coverage on every single play.
It
And
makes
they
no
just-
sense to
They
me.
dropped 10 yards back and just gave it to him.
I want to go into the headset of the defensive room in that situation to see what they're talking about. Because if I'm not the defensive coordinator and I'm just a DB coach or with linebackers coach, I'm going, you're a buffoon. Let's run the same defense that has gotten us to this point. And if we get beat, we get beat. I would rather get beat playing how I played all game than get beat playing
Agreed.
prevent
Now,
defense.
if you were running like a cover 0 and didn't like, you still got to have your two, like you got to run
Yes.
some form of cover 2. But
No,
like,
I
if you've
agree.
been playing man coverage all day, keep playing man coverage.
Yes.
Don't
yes.
drop to this soft ass zone and
Yep.
just be like,
The Bucks
"Oh,
have no receivers that are going to outrun you. Mike
Keep-
Evans
keep
is a
it-
great receiver. He's not going to outrun you.
But man, Mike Evans will beat you at the line though, and then Tom Brady
But put
throws it.
two
I
safeties
know.
deep.
I know.
Keep your two high safeties, and if you get beat, you get beat. That's my
Mike Evans,
biggest-
It
I
makes
will
no
say,
sense.
Mike Evans is sneaky fast on that long ball because he's got that stride that'll beat you. And
I just
but,
don't think he can beat a safety and a corner. I don't see
No,
it.
I don't think he
But-
beat both, especially after he broke his ribs on the second play because
Yeah.
Tom Brady hung him out to dry. Which I will. Here we go. All year, you keep getting Tom Brady's going through a lot because he's getting divorced. And, Tom Brady hasn't had all of his receivers healthy. Well, guess what? On Sunday, all 3 of his receivers were healthy. He had Julio, he had Mike Evans, he had
And he
Chris
looked bad.
Godwin. And you know what happened? On the second play of the game, he broke Mike Evans' ribs because he threw him into triple coverage and got him smashed. And Mike Evans still caught the ball.
But
Tom
once
Brady-
again,
Throws his receivers to get murdered a lot, and Mike
At-
Evans paid the price.
at the end of the game, Tom Brady did what we always talk about: is he managed the game and he ran down the field and he won a football game.
And he relied on his defense giving less than 17
Yep.
points,
No,
and it worked.
and I agree. I mean, but he's done what we have preached all the
I mean,
time because it's
I'm fine with the Bucks winning that game. The Bucks deserve to win that game. The only reason why the Rams were ahead was because the Bucks blew one coverage and Cooper Kupp had a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, yeah.
The Rams are terrible. The
Yes,
Bucks
they are.
McVay's about to retire.
The Bucks
swear.
deserve to win. McVay deserves to be fired. McVay
He's
is a
gonna be
bad
retired.
coach. McVay is a bad coach. He got
I
away
agree.
with having superstars.
Yes.
He is a bad coach.
I just will never understand, and we all agree. I just will never understand with you go away from what's been working.
Hey,
If there's
and you know
10
what?
seconds left, I get it. Like, by all means.
Yes. Prevent it
Gee
up.
whiz.
I hated what Andy Reid did as an offensive play caller against the Titans. I loved that the defense stayed the same against the Titans the entire second half, even on the last drive where the Titans were going to go for every fourth down because they were down 3 points in overtime. And they didn't change it, and Malik Willis looked terrible. And
you knew Malik Willis wasn't going to beat you.
No, the Chiefs got 3 consecutive sacks. That has
Yeah.
never happened in the history of the Kansas City Chiefs.
But Malik Willis, even if you don't get those sacks, he wasn't beating you. Tom Brady was not beating the Rams in that game until they started dinking and dunking.
Correct.
the Rams defense was going to win that game, but they got cute, they set back, and they let Tom Brady do it. How many times in our lifetime have we seen Tom Brady? It's nothing special that the defense is doing at the end of the game, but they get cute, they want to set back, and he just runs down the field, takes the 8 yards here, it's always a sideline route, and you get out of bounds, and he just walks down the field and scores a touchdown. It happens so much.
Is my opinion the difference that makes Tom Brady the GOAT and not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is the best thrower of a football that we have ever seen. However, when it comes late in the game, Tom Brady has made some shit wide receivers look amazing. Yep. When it comes late in the game, Tom Brady takes what you want. Look at the last 4 throws that Aaron Rodgers threw against the Lions. He just threw goal line fades every time. He just back foot, chucked it up, hoped for a prayer. Like, that's the difference between them. Aaron Rodgers takes the lazy way, in my opinion. And he thinks that he is so good that he'll put it wherever he wants to, and he won't take what's available.
And most of the time he can put it where it needs to go.
Most of the time he can.
The difference is Tom Brady is going to say, give me the 8 yards, and I will take 8-yard routes all day long and go score.
If Aaron Rodgers played like Tom Brady did when he was behind, Aaron Rodgers would have all the Super Bowls. All of them. The dude's amazing.
Shane, the stat is Tom Brady leads the league in league history with 55 last-second game-winning drives in his career.
Fantastic. He passed Peyton Manning, who retired, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago? Because he's played for so long. That's like saying that California and New York have the most, I don't know, whatever you want to say it, most people riding the subway. It's just because they have more people. Tom Brady has played more football games as a quarterback than any other quarterback in NFL history because he's played the longest.
It still goes to the fact that he takes what the defense gives him.
What Peyton Manning did is way more impressive because Peyton Manning did it in a significantly less amount of games.
I'll concede to that.
Yeah.
Same with Drew Brees.
Is anyone watching this Coppin Georgetown game?
No.
I just turned it off. That Georgetown went up 10.
I'm watching Fox News.
I'm watching that too. I have 2 TVs up.
I will say this
is the guy throwing a ball in this dude's face. Like,
we'll give Tom Brady his credit. He passed 100,000 passing yards this weekend. The first person to ever do that. Playing for 23 years as a quarterback is so impressive.
That is.
What's more impressive for me than Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowls is the fact that he's been able to stay healthy for this long.
He needs to retire though. It's time.
And it's because we talked. Did we talk about that?
For this.
It's because Giselle is into witchcraft, and that's why Tom Brady was good for so long. And now
it's that avocado vodka.
No, it's because Giselle now has put a voodoo curse on him, and that's why he's not playing as well.
I can't tell you. That man must be sitting back on his couch tonight, being like, I cannot wait to just sip a cold Coors Light.
I can't wait till he eats a strawberry, and it's like, wow,
it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna blow his mind.
It's gonna
wreck his steak. It's gonna wreck his digestive tract, but he's gonna love life. All right, let's talk about other things in the NFL. We talked about all the games. All right, here, let's get to the hypothetical section of the. I really need Shane to return for this. So I'll stall.
I'm here. I was getting
go.
my can opener.
We did the Heisman thing, kind of. Let's talk about current favorites for MVP. We're at the exact halfway point in the NFL season. And I think that the NFL / the odds makers are screwing one player in particular. There are 9 people ahead of him for MVP.
Who could it be?
So
9 people?
there are 9 quarterbacks that are currently ahead of Tyreek Hill for MVP.
You are
No.
a Tua hater though.
No,
Tua
but
hater.
Tyreek Hill is having, I mean,
A great year.
Tyreek is going to break all the records besides
Yeah,
touchdowns. Tyreek
He
only has
runs
3
past
touchdowns,
every defender.
but Tyreek has 1,100 yards right now.
He's ridiculous.
He is crushing it. I'm not saying he needs to be the favorite for MVP. There should not be 9 people ahead of him, all of which are quarterbacks. So my challenge to you is, can the 3 of you name the 9 quarterbacks?
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, wait, hold on. You got to go. Give me time. All right, we got 1.
Patrick Mahomes.
Kirk
We
Cousins.
got 2.
Josh Allen.
Wait. One at a time. Kirk Cousins is on the list. Way to go. He's number 8.
Hell
I heard Josh Allen. He's
Josh
number
Allen.
3. We got the top
Geno,
3.
Geno Smith.
No, not Geno.
Geno Smith is on the list.
No way.
Geno
is
is
number
my
7.
MVP right. Geno's my MVP right now.
Geno is number 7.
So
How many have we named? 4, 5?
You've named
Zach-
5.
Zach Wilson.
No.
No way. Zach's terrible.
Danny Dimes.
No.
No.
Is
Dak on there despite his injury?
Dak is not on the list.
Oh, man.
Someone who had a major injury that was national news is on the list, though. He throws the ball to Tyreek Hill.
Tua's
Tua?
on there.
Yeah. Tua's got to be in the conversation. He's 5-0.
They're undefeated.
He plays well, but
Top QBR in the league.
I think Tyreek makes Tua. If
Who
you take
else is
away
on there?
if you take away the skinny post from the Dolphins, then Tua looks terrible. How many
What do we
times
got?
has Tyreek Hill had to come
6?
to a complete stop to catch Tua's long ball? We have 6. Jonathan's gonna hate number 5.
Derek Carr.
No,
Who?
he's black. He runs.
Lamar's in there.
Lamar.
Lamar.
okay, first off, I do not want to be associated with that statement.
Sorry,
online.
I apologize. Jonathan's gonna hate the fact that Lamar Jackson is number 5 for MVP.
Austin was
This
just
man just-
describing.
This
Austin
man
was just
put
describing
me
him.
on
I was
blast
describing.
online.
I don't even-
saying
don't
Jonathan
even wanna
hates
think
black
about this.
quarterbacks. That's basically
Nope,
what he
that's
just
not
said.
what I was trying to describe. I apologize. That is defamation. I meant the fact that Jonathan really just doesn't like Lamar as a quarterback. He likes him as a football player.
My lawyer's gonna reach out to you. Okay.
That's fine.
Joe
and
Burrow.
Taylor-
Joe Burrow is in there. You're missing the
Is
other
Justin Herbert there?
Justin Herbert is there. We got all 9.
That's wild.
Justin
Justin Herbert,
No.
who is 20-20 in his NFL career, is ahead of Tyreek Hill, which is why it's ridiculous. Like, you cannot win MVP as any other player besides quarterback.
I'm a fan of let's eliminate the MVP. Let's eliminate the Heisman. Just
No,
to make it the best quarterback in the league or the best
Yeah,
quarterback
I
in
agree.
college.
I just
agree
think
with that.
change the voters. I'm fine.
Or that.
I'm fine with Mahomes, Hurts, and Allen
Agreed.
being
I'm
above
fine.
Tyreek.
I'm fine with Geno.
No,
No.
not Geno. Not
I think
Geno, not Geno.
Tyreek is way more important.
Geno
but
has been good. Geno has
I
been
would
good.
say I would go Tyreek 4, Geno 5, and Tua 6. But the fact that Tua is currently the 4th best odds, and he hasn't played in
That's
3 of his
crazy.
team's
Yeah,
games,
that just
crazy.
proves
Oh,
that
Tyreek
proves you have no
has-
chance.
it's just
Who
like
would you have vote though?
I mean, I don't know who people who actually care about football, and anyone who says that QBR matters should not get a vote. Anyone who subscribes to
Tua
Pro
does lead the
Football
league.
Focus-
Lead the league.
Yes. Anyone from PFF should
anyone
not get
who
a vote.
subscribes to PFF shouldn't get a vote.
Uh-oh, Herschel's up to 49.4. Let's go. 14% left.
It
We
ain't
got to
gonna
get to
happen.
50.
He's not gonna get.
We got to get to 50.
All right. I have one more. Excuse me. I have one more thing before we talk about our picks and we get out of here for tonight. Anyone else can bring up any topics that we missed. I am going to describe a defensive player, and you tell me who should be defensive player of the year at this point in time. Fair enough?
Yep.
All right. Player number 1 has 36 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 8 sacks,
Gosh.
2 passes deflected, and 2 forced fumbles.
That's Aaron Donald.
Hold on. Sorry. We can also play guess which player is which.
I was going to say
So-
the same thing.
I'm gonna read player number 2, and then I'll tell you. I'm gonna compare each stat for both of them. Fair enough. That way
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah.
I read a lot of stats. Player number 2 has 35 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 11 and a half sacks, 3 passes deflected, and 1 forced fumble. All
How
right.
many tackles?
35.
One less. That's one less tackle.
It's 1 less tackle. Here we go. Here are their stats compared side by side. Player 1, 36 tackles. Player 2, 35. So player 2, 1 less. Player number 1 has 8 sacks. Player number 2, 11 and a half.
That's it.
Golly.
All right.
Player-
We're taking player number 2.
Player number 1, 2 passes deflected. Player number 2, 3 passes deflected.
We're taking player number 2.
Player number 1, 2 forced fumbles. Player number 2, 1 forced fumble.
3.5 sacks is significant. We're taking player number 2.
I'm gonna take player 2, and I
All
have
right.
a feeling I know who it is.
If you had to
That
guess
one
which 2
loses.
players that we had, they both are exterior linemen on the defense.
Ooh.
Or if you're in a 3-4 scheme, then they're outside linebackers. I apologize.
Micah Parsons and Von Miller.
Micah Parsons is one of the players. Can you guess which one he is?
He's player number
two.
1.
Micah Parsons
2.
is player number 1.
Who's number 2?
Matthew Judon.
Oh,
You know who's getting no respect for defensive player of the year? But Micah
Matthew
Parsons
Judon.
is leading the league for defensive play. Micah Parsons, according to sportsbooks, is the runaway defensive player of the year, and Matthew Judon beats him in almost every statistic. It's stupid.
3.5 sacks is
It's
significant.
stupid. I'm tired. I love Micah Parsons. He's a great football player. I am tired of the slander that he is the best football player on the defensive side of the football. He's not.
I knew this man had an agenda.
He is not.
That was very well agenda played
Yeah,
out right
it's
there.
not agenda. It's statistics. Matthew Judon beats him in almost every statistic.
3.5 sacks. That's significant. I'm not gonna lie. If it was 1 sack, I'd be like, oh, okay,
But
situation.
3.5 is a lot.
3.5's a
It's
lot.
3.5 sacks and more tackles for loss. They're basically equal on tackles. Micah Parsons has 1 extra tackle. Matthew Judon has deflected more passes. Like, he beats him in almost
Parsons,
every statistic. But Micah Parsons gets
Parsons
more
gets the Dallas
time
bump.
on. He plays for Dallas. He gets more
the Dallas
time on
bump.
ESPN, and it's freaking
Yep.
stupid.
It's the Dallas bump.
Also,
I would not
defensive
expect
rookie
that.
of the year. People are gonna. It's also an interesting debate between Sauce Gardner or Tariq Woolen.
I love Sauce Gardner. I
I
Sauce
love
Gardner though.
I love Sauce. I love Tariq as well. They're both fantastic. It's a toss up for me. You know who's missing from the defensive player of the year ranks because no one throws at him? Patrick Surtain the second.
Yeah,
No, we
agreed.
talked about it last week. It's so hard for a cornerback, but he just doesn't get thrown at.
If
They
corners, the problem with corners is if you actually do your job the way you should, you will never have any stats.
You'll never have any statistics because you cover your guy on every play.
Yeah. So they get
Which-
screwed because if you have
which
zero
is good.
targets and you're a starting quarterback, you should be the defensive player of the year.
Yeah. You've done your job. but no one PFF I'm sure
And
doesn't
it's the
account for
same
that.
thing with the interior linemen. If you do your job, you're double or triple teamed on every play.
Yeah, and you probably don't have any sacks. Maybe no tackles for loss,
Like
honestly.
Aaron Donald's numbers this year are very low, but if you watch a game, still just Aaron Donald is a monster.
You almost have to look at his defensive ends. Like if his defensive ends
Yeah.
are getting all kinds of sacks, and it's like, okay, Aaron Donald's probably
Like
doing something.
if you watch the Tampa Bay game, Aaron Donald's stats are probably not great from this weekend. He destroyed Tom Brady. Tom Brady
Yeah.
was thrown off and looked terrible for an entire football game because Aaron Donald was in his face until all of a sudden the corners were 10 yards off the line.
Okay, this proves. Okay, I'm gonna piss everyone off. Guess where PFF has Patrick Surtain listed in their top cornerbacks?
I mean, there's
17.
no, he's got to be top 12. There's no way.
Ryan Kim, congratulations.
Number
Congratulations, Brian.
11. Number 11.
11.
I mean, he is so fun
He's
to
in-
watch.
They have him listed as tier 2 on the cusp of elite. Like that is slander. You want to talk about
Wait.
slander? That
Shane, are you paying for PFF?
no, I just got on PFF.com.
Oh, I was like, don't pay for PFF. It's $80 and it's a scam.
No, I just got on PFF.com because I was curious what they had him listed as. They have Jair Alexander listed as number 2, who has not played worth a flip all year.
Yeah, I mean, Jair Alexander is a very good corner. He's injured this
He
year.
is.
He's playing hurt right now. He's not playing great. He's a great corner, but he's not number 2 this year.
No,
That's my thing with the Pro Bowl. Like, I can't wait to see who gets elected to the Pro Bowl this year. That they were just terrible. There's so many Pro Bowl players that have just played awful this season.
if you watch football, Patrick Surtain is a top 2-3 cornerback in the league.
No, he's number one. He's number
Yeah,
one. There's no one
but
above him.
I'm going to give room for personal debate. You give him at least top 3, and you've got him at number 11. That is a travesty. That is.
If you're basing it off this year, Sauce might be number 2, which is scary.
I wonder. 1 second. I'm gonna see where he is.
You know what? I bet happens. I bet you that Tre'Davious White gets a Pro Bowl selection this year. He has not played yet. He still hasn't played. I mean, Tre'Davious White is an amazing corner, but he's been injured all season, and I bet he still makes the Pro Bowl. That's how dumb the Pro Bowl is.
Can I give a shout out to somebody real quick?
Sure. Is it
Hey,
Herschel?
shout out Stacey Abrams. She's got to be a millionaire and has still never worked a job in her life.
Yes.
Never in her life has she worked a job, and she's got to be a millionaire. Congratulations, Stacey.
Oh no. I got Herschel's down to 49.3. He ain't gonna make it to 50.
Yeah, he was up to 49.7. Now I saw he went back down.
Hey,
Not
but
going to make it to 50.
for those that are listening that it affects us, Greg Abbott has officially been governor again.
Oh,
There
dude,
you
he
go.
ran away with that. And
All right,
Oh,
little quick political practice. What is the next political office that Beto's bitch ass runs for next?
House of El Paso.
No, I mean, yeah,
Lord.
House of Representatives for the state.
I will trade
for sure.
Beto O'Rourke for
Dr. Oz is under 1%.
I have a perfect.
Holy
seat-
cow! No way. I just saw that as 2. That's nuts.
Oz
Who?
is down to 1%.
Dr. Oz is up to 48.2% down
I'm
to.
telling you, dude.
That's both of them are terrible. I mean, Phil,
I don't disagree.
Hey, the people of
I don't-
Pennsylvania I know we have so many Pennsylvania listeners. Out of our 13 listeners from past week, almost 11 of them are from Pennsylvania. We apologize. We apologize that your senators are these 2 candidates. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. Horrible.
It's bad out there for the Pennsylvanians.
It's like we went around and said, who's the most 2 inept people to run the government? And said, those are the 2. And we're going to vote for them.
Well, I mean, I'll take a guy that can actually coherently speak.
But
over
Dr.
a guy
Oz
that-
doesn't even live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but over a guy that I mean, it's sad to say the guy literally had a stroke and is not mentally
No,
capable
his
of
wife
actually
is
doing
hoping he dies so she can become the senator. That's the whole deal.
I don't think that's how that works.
That's not
That's
how
how it
works
is.
either.
That's how it is. His wife is literally like, "Oh, how can I become a senator?"
All right. We will wrap up today's podcast with our gambling segment as we always do.
Let's go.
This is the week. This is the week. I feel like we're all feeling it. We're all in the zone, even though we all got murdered, except for Shane this past weekend. I don't think anyone is competing against each other this week, which is good. So, Blake, you are staying in the pure NFL realm, which is a bold life choice. Hit us with what you got going on.
I got the Miami Dolphins -3.5. Let's go.
All right.
2-9,
Before-
rise up.
Before we move on, so last week I was on the Dolphins -4. Mike, we did not do our coaching malpractice segment this week. I'm sure we will be able to bring it up in weeks in the future. Betting with the Dolphins, they should cover every week. Their offense is incredible. But Mike McDaniel keeps going forward on freaking fourth down and scenarios that
Mikey D.
So I cannot bet the Dolphins anymore. But Dolphins -3.5. I would love to take it, but I hate
Let's
Mike
go.
McDaniel with a passion. So there you go.
Then
Keep
we got
going,
the Tennessee
Blake.
Titans. Ryan Tannehill comes back, lights it up. Tennessee -3. And then we have my Cowboys -5.
I see it, Shane. I hate you so much.
What did that
But
say?
the good-
What did that say about
the-
Gavin
the-
Newsom's bachelor party?
The good news is that no one has made it to hour 2.5 on the podcast.
Everything just say it out
planned
loud?
Gavin Newsom's
Let's
bachelor
do it.
All right.
is-
Hey, wait, hold on. Let's talk about the Cowboys because they were off this week, so we didn't talk
They're
about
on
them.
my week. They had
They're
bye week.
America's team. We got to talk about them. Mike McCarthy has been already emotional about returning to Lambeau, which is just bogus and for
He
the
said it wasn't a
cameras.
big deal, though. He said it wasn't a big deal.
But then he also kind of got emotional about it. But I mean, do the Packers even score 10 points? I mean, the Packers are bad on
No.
offense. It's going to
Packers are
be
terrible.
I
The
think
wide
this might
receivers have brick hands.
I think this might be the lock of the week. I think Dallas -5 might be like the lock of the week.
I gotta say, I think if the Packers wide receivers, like if you put a normal guy out there that could just run fast, he could catch more balls than the Packers wide receivers could.
It's
This
possible.
this is
Bad.
Like Dallas
This-
is the Green Bay defense isn't that good. They're supposed to be good, but they're not. So I think Dallas will score 30,
30.
and there's no way that
Rodgers is not scoring 20.
no, gosh no.
this is it's bigger of a lock than one thing I know. And the only thing that's almost not bigger of a lock.
I'm
is
ready to push the button. I'm ready to push the button. Don't you do it.
FC Boston's bachelor party.
Fantastic work, Shane. All right. Jonathan, we'll go to you since Shane was off screen. Who are you taking this week? Jonathan is the opposite of Blake. He's staying solely in college football.
I always stay in college football. Oh, okay. I am taking LSU Tigers -3 over Arkansas Razorbacks.
I think that's a good pick.
I almost took that.
I am taking the Clemson Tigers -7 over Louisville, which is weird because
I'm not nearly as confident about that one as the LSU pick. That's
I
for sure.
literally took Notre Dame to beat them last week, and that's the only one I got last
Well,
week.
they're different teams, so I mean,
Yeah. No, I know, but Louisville, I just
First week in a long time that Jonathan didn't pick the Aggies. For those that are not on the podcast group text, Jonathan is very depressed about football right now. It's a bad year.
This will be hopefully I'm 30 years old. I'm hoping that I live to at least 90, so I got like 60 more years. I hope this is the worst year of college foot worst year of football in general for me as a fan in my life, and I'm happy to get it over with at 30. I hope it's all good now. We're gonna like Super Bowls and national championships are in my future. I have 60 years to make it happen. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we are in week number 9 in the NFL. We just finished week 9. The Raiders have blown 3 17-point leads.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
rough life for the Raiders fans.
In
out
the
there
first
right now.
30 years
at
of their
some
franchise.
Yeah.
At some point, you do have to realize that maybe he's not a head coach. Like, just maybe.
Also, that
Probably isn't.
maybe we can finally
And I'm really
the worldwide
excited.
leader can stop talking about how Derek Carr is a good quarterback.
I'm
He
really
might be
excited
bad.
about Jalen Hurts for next year. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a
To
good
the
time.
Raiders.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Jalen Hurts is not leaving the Eagles. What are you talking about?
Oh, not Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. Bryce Young.
Bryce Young?
Other
Oh.
Alabama quarterback.
No.
Oh, but CJ
Bryce Young is
Stroud.
Bryce Young is going to be a Texan.
Jonathan, why
I
did
think
you
Bryce Young will be probably
compare those two? Why'd you compare those
What,
two?
all black quarterbacks act the same or what? Is it Alabama quarterbacks? Is it black
I don't need
quarterbacks?
this
What is
shit,
it?
All
fellas.
right. Keep it going. Jonathan, you had a third pick, which is way out there, but I like it.
It also doesn't help my argument on that last comment. I am taking Appalachian State
Yeah.
Mountaineers.
He had to dig deep for that one.
Go JD Vance.
He's
Why
winning
do you
right
like-
now,
why-
boys.
He is. He's
Why do you
winning.
like JD Vance?
He just called for him to concede.
-1 over Marshall.
No,
All right.
JD Vance already won. He already won.
Oh, he's calling for Tim Ryan to concede right now. I just read it on CNN.
Tim Ryan likes to sniff his boyfriend's booty
Hey,
hole.
in case you're wondering, Jonathan, I looked this up earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Before he showers.
The Marshall Thundering Herd currently have the number 6 defense in the country. So
oh,
Walker-
bad
it's gonna-
pick.
it's gonna
Bad
be
beat.
you're gonna need some help from your Appalachian State. All right, Shane, hit us with your 3 picks. Then I'll hit us with
Yeah.
our 3 picks, and we'll get out of here.
I got OK State +1 versus Iowa State. TCU +7 against those dildo packing losers in Texas.
Okay,
And Dallas -5 against the Pack.
fantastic. I also went 2 college, 1 NFL because it's just fun to do it that way. I will always lock in TCU until they lose. They have been covering the spread like crazy. They're number 4 in the country and they're getting 7 points. I'll take it, although I really don't feel confident about it at all.
Wait. Time out.
What?
What are the new rankings? I haven't seen it yet.
We talked about the new rankings already.
Yeah, I was in political commentary, so okay, never mind.
Georgia's
Carry on.
1, Ohio State's 2, Michigan's 3, TCU's 4.
Okay, good deal.
I also have taken the best college football team against the spread just because statistics, and I got Tulane -2.0. Tulane is 2-point
Tulane's
favorite.
only 2-point favorites? I missed that. I missed
Oh,
it.
shoot. My microphone just died. Can everyone still hear me?
Oh, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Okay,
Okay.
good. And then my new strategy with with professional football betting is every week Vegas gives a professional team almost double-digit spread. And in professional football, there's very few games that are double-digit wins. So I'm taking, I apologize to all my family, the Jacksonville Jaguars +9.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Not
That's
not-
ugly. That's ugly. That's
not-
ugly.
because I think that they're going to lose the Jaguars, which
Yeah.
is, but just 10 points is a lot of points in professional football.
Man, you're gonna
Okay.
lose to a conventional quarterback there.
Hey, that's fine.
Barry Williamson is gonna disown you.
No, Barry Williamson and I,
Blake's face right there.
if I read every text
I just realized
messages
something. I'll announce it
that
before we leave.
Barry and I texted between each other during the Titans game,
It's just
it
the
would be a
fact that AOC
very negative podcast. The text messages between my father and I on Sunday Night Football were not positive.
Barry should be a guest on our podcast. He should be our next guest.
He would never lower himself.
Oh
to
my
this.
goodness, that would be amazing.
Hey,
Make
before
that
we
a
sign
awesome.
off, I have an announcement to make. I have
Uh
a request, actually. Can everyone please pray for me? Because for the next 4 weeks, I have to listen to more commercials about how both of our Senate candidates tried to murder their ex-wives. And that's going to be painful.
oh. Is it a runoff officially?
It's going to be a runoff because we're only at 49.2% with 12% of the vote left. Herschel pointed a gun to his wife, and Raphael Warnock tried to run over his ex-wife. So this is not looking good for us.
Can we also make another announcement?
No. I'm gonna press the
Yes,
button.
yes.
If you move to Texas from California, we only vote one way. We don't want our guns taken away. Football is second to God. Family is third. I love my
All
wife
right,
and children.
Shane, I gotta
but-
stop you right there. What is the name of our podcast?
Football is king.
So why would you say football is second to God instead of football is king? Like, it's right there for you, bud. You had it. I thought you were gonna say the name of the podcast.
Oh
Because
well,
football is king,
different
but
way.
it's second to
Wait. There
God,
was
Austin.
something about Epstein planning somebody's bachelor party.
Epstein playing Newsom's bachelor party. That's all I've got to say. Sign
Fun
me
times.
out, bitches.
Fun times.
Red
All right.
wave incoming 2022, 2024.
Um,
Herschel and the runoff.
only 10
Interest
people.
rates
I don't
only-
want to see any more commercials.
No one listens to this podcast, but if we ever make it big, I might have to delete this one. But that's fine.
Red
If
wave.
I
Red
run for
wave.
government office, I am gonna get canceled so fast.
No,
You still
I thought
got
about
5 more years.
Okay. I thought about this today.
Uh-oh.
If you run, you just need to lean into it.
That's what I think. I think
Like,
you just
I mean, if Trump can get up there and say, my ex girlfriend, the porn star, has a horse face, you can absolutely get away with a lot in politics. Like, just lean into it. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but can we
Oh.
not like say that that's like not ideal? Can we not just like hold them to
Yeah.
higher standards?
No, it's not ideal, but we live in a fucked up world with a fucked up society. So people are just generally not great human beings in the first place.
I'm still on team whichever side for president runs someone in their mid 40s that probably is a white
Santis
that's
2024.
probably
Let's
a
go.
white male that has done very
Whoa.
little wrong.
whoa, whoa,
Whoa, no.
Whoa.
I'm not saying this is my personal beliefs. I'm saying if you want to win the election, you run a
Whoa.
person who is a white male who has done very
Whoa.
little wrong, and they will win in a landslide.
Ron DeSantis.
Landslide.
Whoa.
I'm not saying that that is great and that is what is the right way. I'm just saying if you're trying to play a winning strategy, that's the winning strategy.
You know,
too
this
late.
podcast
This will
podcast
will
just
get-
turned out better for me than for Austin.
No, this
I just
podcast.
don't like black quarterbacks, apparently, and Austin won't have a president that's won.
Austin
this
has
will
already
this
had
will
a
get-
president that has won. First of all,
This will get
because
this
he
will
was
get
the
clipped.
president.
This will get
Good thing-
clipped.
Good thing only our
Clip it all you
parents
want.
listen to this.
This podcast is never making it to the internet, so that's fine.
Oh, it'll be on the
our
internet.
our parents have to hear this for sure.
It'll be on the internet by tomorrow, and we do not discriminate at the Football's King podcast. We just like everyone to know that we want lower taxes, and if Beto ever comes for my guns, I will put a bullet right in between your eyes.
I
And
And
really
then
keep the
should've-
government out of our lives. Keep
I
the
should have
government out of
pressed.
our
I
lives.
should have pressed stop like 5 minutes ago, and then just let y'all think that this
Can
is
you
getting
cut?
recorded.
Can you just cut?
I could, but I don't really know how to do that. But I could
Our
figure. I
parents
might.
gotta hear this.
I might have
This
to
is
figure
good
it out.
content. This is
I
good
might have
content.
to figure it
I
out.
see Kim Williamson sitting there like, that's the boys. That's the
Hey,
boys.
Let's not slander Kim Williamson in this either. I mean,
I'm
come
not
on.
We're not
slandering.
I'm not
slandering. This
slandering
is
at
not
all.
no,
That's
slander.
respect.
Y'all tried
That's
to
straight
throw.
up respect.
I'm Tea
we
Party
tried
up,
to-
baby. I'm Tea Party up.
That's straight up
No,
respect to Kim Williamson.
We've thrown some racially insensitive jokes that we don't need to throw Kim Williamson's name under. Kim Williamson is
Kim
a
Williamson
saint.
doesn't- Kim Williamson doesn't condone those.
Kim Williamson is a saint.
No,
Agreed.
she
Agreed.
just
Also,
she just
for all of you that are
she
saying these
just
slanderous
condones
things,
the red
today is
wave.
her birthday. You sons of
Happy
guns.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Kim
Kim.
Williamson.
Happy birthday,
birthday,
Kim.
And guess
Kim.
what?
Happy
Guess
birthday.
what Kim Williamson's getting for her birthday? A red wave.
Tsunami, the red tsunami.
That's what I texted her this morning. I was like,
Bring
hey,
the
I know
Tea
I'm not
Party
seeing you
back.
for your birthday, but your birthday present's probably going to be a red wave. And there you go. All right,
Congrats,
I'm
Ken.
pressing stop
Congrats.
before we
Party
get
back.
anything else. We'll see y'all next week. Episode 12. There will be very little politics, probably, but maybe not. We'll see y'all next
Still got a
time on the
runoff.
Football King
We still have a
podcast.
runoff. This is big.
Okay.